What's going on, you guys? Just wanted to take a minute to welcome you guys to today's Thanksgiving Day editions of Throwback Thursday. Going to be all the same content you guys are used to seeing. We've got the ATW view. We've got the Jay Hebert side of things. We've got the NoDQ and AV open mic night, NoDQ review, talk wrestling, dads on wrestling, Renegade wrestling, stat boy rants, and so much more. But again, just wanted to take quick second or two, wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving, and we hope that you guys still tune in and still give us the clicks and the likes and the subscriptions and all that good stuff. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. And we'll be seeing you guys a little bit later on today for a very special Multiverse of Media Thanksgiving show. Enjoy the Throwback Thursday content.
Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Hello everyone, this is episode 39 of Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ and MySpace and of course YouTube. Sorry for the late upload on this. We were supposed to tape this last Wednesday and my phone was acting like a spaz and I couldn't get up, so I apologize for that. I apologize to Aaron, I apologize to everybody out there for the late upload. A couple of things before we get started. There was a lot of comments on the last show about the political nature of the show, so to speak. You notice there's no buttons on me this week. There won't be any buttons on me until after the election, or after the election there won't be a need for buttons. I endorse Obama. There's no going around that, but I'm not going to throw it in everybody's face anymore. That's not right of me. A lot of people are supporting John McCain and Sarah Palin, and that's your prerogative. A lot of people are supporting the independent parties, the different other parties, and that's cool. Politics should be a individual thing. I should not be thrown it in your face, and I apologize for that. Very sorry to vote for Obama. Vote, just make sure you get out there and vote November 4th. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Just make sure you vote for November 4th, because that's the big day. And also, I've been urged and coerced and otherwise instructed. The Nagel World Order has a groundbreaking commercial set up for the end of the show. He's not going to interrupt the show, which is nice. And so it's a groundbreaking commercial at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. How much did he pay you? How much did he pay you? Moolah. Mucho moolah, huh? Yeah. Well, where's he getting the money? It's from eBay, I'm sure. Yes. This is from Burke. Do you see a possible feud happening with Triple H and The Undertaker over the WWE title? Well, I know from SmackDown that they are going to have a match next week on SmackDown. I don't know if it's for the title or not, but that's a very good possibility. If Triple H remains champion, Undertaker's going to want the WWE title or the World Heavyweight title back. He got robbed of the championship more than once. This year, he got stripped of the title by Vicky Guerrero, whose favorite catchphrase is, "Excuse me!" I do that at home, and I get a big laugh. I don't know if you guys are going to laugh at that. I hope you do. But her in her wheelchair going, "Excuse me!" It's funny. And last year, of course, Edge robbed him with the Money in the Bank, slipping in after the two grueling battles with Batista and Mark Henry. I see Undertaker and Triple H having a decent feud if they do have it, and it'd be cool to see it culminate at WrestleMania. Undertaker, maybe that being the one. Triple H has lost the Undertaker before WrestleMania, but it wasn't for the WWE Championship back then. That was just a regular singles match. That was a grudge match. But Triple H may be the guy that finally beats the Undertaker. We'll see. South Jersey Rocks. Whatever happened to Joy Giovanni? Last I heard, she was back being a mom. She may have done some acting after WWE. Remember Joy Giovanni? She was the SmackDown Diva of the Year, whatever she was, or that award she won at No Way Out in 2004, 2005. She won some match that entitled her to some award. I forget what it was now. That's how long ago it was, and that's how little I remember about Joy Giovanni. But she was in the storyline with the Big Show, or Big Show's like protecting her, and he was in love with her or whatever. Last I heard, she was back being a mom and just doing her own thing. And, much luck to her and everything, because I like Joy Giovanni, but she never really caught on in the WWE universe, so to speak. This is from Jeremy. What impact would Andre the Giant have had with a legitimate world title run in WWE? I think that would have been a pretty impactful situation. Andre was the star of the 70s. And deserved to be world champion, in my opinion, long before he got that 2-minute reign that he did as WWF champion in 1988. But, what do you do with a 7'5", 500-pound guy once he's champion? You can't, nobody would be able to beat him. Hogan did the impossible. Hogan did the unthinkable. Hogan beat the Giant. Hogan body slammed the Giant and pinned him to retain the WWF Championship. That is unheard of. That was unheard of back then. So Andre being the champion would have been very impactful, because they would have thrown everybody in the company at him, in my opinion, and nobody would have been able to stop him until Hogan got to him. Hogan beating Andre would have been impactful. Instead of Hogan being the Iron Sheik, I think that would have been much more dramatic if Hogan was finally the one to topple the Giant and become champion, as opposed to Hogan retaining the title over Andre. But, that was the booking strategy back then. Hogan was the man, and they wanted to showcase him as the man. This is from, I guess it's supposed to be Biohazard, but it's spelled B10H4Z4RD. But it's supposed to be Biohazard, I guess, spelled a cool way on MySpace. So, very good. What do you think will happen, Mr. Kennedy, if he is released by WWE or if he goes to TNA or however you think it's going to work? I don't think Vince will release him. I think that he'll come back from injury and he'll be hopefully better than ever, because Kennedy has been very injury prone the last couple of years since he joined WWE, as a matter of fact, and went to the main roster. It sucks, because Kennedy's one of my favorites, and he keeps getting his butt whooped. He keeps getting hurt at some point, and all the momentum he carries into his feuds and into his storylines gets crushed. And he just has to sit on the sidelines and watch. He was part of the campaigns. He was part of the conventions when they had the conventions later part of the summer, and it was cool to see him and Mickie James getting out there, rock the vote, smack down your vote with Josh Matthews, who you don't see very often, but it was cool to see those three. And we have birds chirping in the background, more noise, but that's okay. No more bugs, because I'm in an area where there's not a whole lot of bugs bugging, because last week you guys were really on that. I apologize for the bugs, but you know, when the bugs fly up your nose, you gotta itch. It just works that way. I'm sorry. This is from King E. Have you ever heard of a wrestler named Anton Levy? Levigh. I have not, actually. I was going to look him up, and it slipped my mind, to be honest with you. It sounds vaguely familiar, like I may have heard it at some point in my life, but I don't really know. If anybody wants to send me information on Anton Levy, ANTONLEVIGH, you can go to jdmeach1@yahoo.com for my email, or myspace.com/Jeff Meacham. If you're watching this on my MySpace, then you know. If you're watching on YouTube, there you go. If you're watching NoDQ.com, there you go. I don't know who Anton Levy is, but I would like to know more about him, and I'm too lazy to look him up because I'm that bored and I have a kid and I have better things to do. So give me some information, let me know. What will happen with TNA referee Shane Sewell, the one who keeps getting, bumped or whatever, and he goes crazy and starts attacking? He hasn't done it the last couple weeks. They were doing it for a good couple weeks there, and then he kind of stopped. So I'm not sure if they'll continue to do that. I hope not, because when he's Glamour Boy Shane on the indie circuit, that's fine. But when he's TNA referee, he should be a TNA referee, and that should be the end of it. He shouldn't be bumping like that and making himself look stupid. This is from the Hitman, not Bret Hart, but the Hitman. What was the better Shawn Michaels Bret Hart match, the ladder match or the Iron Man match? Ooh, I feel very uninformed and very caught off guard by this, because I've never seen the Shawn Michaels Bret Hart ladder match. I know Aaron has a ladder match DVD, and if we had time, I could have borrowed it from him, and I could have watched it and made a proper judgment. But from what I understand and from the reviews I've heard, the ladder match was not as good as the Iron Man match. The Iron Man match was the best WrestleMania match in history, according to the WWE Superstars, and according to a lot of fans that watched WrestleMania matches over the last 25 years. You can't argue with an hour-long overtime finish. That was one of the greatest matches I've ever seen, and I don't think a ladder match would, compare. The ladder match, I'm sure, is very, very good, but you have Michaels and Ramon that's better. Different ladder matches that are better than Michaels and Bret Hart, and nobody can touch the Iron Man match, in my humble opinion. Rob Kimball wants to know my ultimate high-flying match. He picks The Amazing Red versus Jack Evans. You can't go wrong with that match. I would have to agree. The Amazing Red in his prime was a great high flyer, and Jack Evans, of course, is one of my favorites. He was on my top friends for the longest time. He's Dylan's godfather. He's a great person and a great athlete. He's one of the best high flyers the business has. The Amazing Red was one of the best in the business as far as high flyers. That would be an amazing match. Talk about Amazing Red versus Rey Mysterio when Rey Mysterio was in his prime. You talk about Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero taking on Mysterio. Those are great matches. Dean Malenko used to be kind of a flyer too. Actually, I take that back. He was more of a mat wrestler, ground wrestler. Ultimo Dragon was a high flyer somewhat. just any of the high flyers you saw in WCW, Juventud Guerrero or in ECW, Rob Van Dam. How about Rob Van Dam against the Mason? How about Rob Van Dam against Jack Evans? Great matches there. This is from JoJo. If Eddie was still alive, which brand would he be on? Well, there's a lot of different theories. He could have gone to ECW and been an ECW original. He could have, stayed on SmackDown and been WWE Champion again. He could have gone to Raw and been a contender for the World Heavyweight Championship now. Very hard to say, but, if Eddie was alive, a lot of things would be different. There wouldn't be such a hardcore wellness policy in place. If Eddie was still alive, Rey Mysterio wouldn't have been world champion. If Eddie was still alive, this and that. So, it's very hard to say, what's happening with Eddie Guerrero if he was still alive. You can't really judge. Brandon John Cox / Bronson. It's off MySpace. I don't know. What was your favorite Undertaker match at WrestleMania? Wow. For me personally, I would have to say this year's WrestleMania 24 against Edge. Number one, I was there. Number two, it made for a great match. With the Undertaker matches, I like to be worried about the Undertaker. I like to be worried that you never know what's going to happen with him. You never know if this is going to be the year that he loses. And for me, that match with Edge, after that second spear, before he locked on the submission hold, the Gogoplata, which is what it's called, or Gogoplata, whatever it is. It's not just called, a deadly submission hold, as Michael Cole would have you believe. Before he locked that on, the second spear, I was like, oh man, this could be it. Oh my God, the Undertaker might lose WrestleMania. Holy cow! So we've come into the show. I promised. You're just gonna throw it at me like that? This is Mike's handwriting. That's fine. I'll read it. But just keep in mind that Nagel got more fat comments than I did ever doing this show. At least I admit I'm fat. Before I get to this, I promised, because the last time he interrupted the end of the show, I didn't get to respond at the end. This time, we're going to come back after the Nagel's commercial, and you're going to hear my personal response. The following is a groundbreaking announcement from the Nagel World Order. Why is it groundbreaking, you ask? Because Jeff Meacham literally breaks the ground. Enjoy!
The following announcement has been paid for by the Nagel World Order.
So for today, oh, can you move your hands, Jeff?
No, I can't.
You see toy room? Doesn't that look so good? Doesn't it look good?
This is Happy Bolt.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
See how it is? Oh, jeez. Oh, thank you. I've taken more bumps than today.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the Nagel World Order.
Normally my fat lazy ass doesn't stand for talk wrestling, but I felt this deserved a stand. And you know what? Here. Just for you, pretty boy Nagel. You want to come on my show, you want to put a highlight reel up of my greatest moments. Aaron, NoDQ's anniversary is coming right around the corner, isn't it?
November 8th.
November 8th, 2008. 10 years of WWF, WCW, The Mayhem, and of course NoDQ. We got NoDQ CAW coming back for one night only. I feel I'm still the rightful champ. Aaron disagrees. Email him, let him know who you want to be the champ for that big defense or whatever I'm doing. Whatever anybody's doing. Mike, I feel we should have an XMV reunion. Just you and me, bud. because the last time you were on the show was in early January 2006. You left me, Lee, and Josh high and dry for 6 months because you wanted to be a little bitch and run away from the show. So, I'll tell you what. Come to the anniversary taping. I'll be there. I hope you are too. For NoDQ.com, for MySpace.com/Jeff Meacham, and for YouTube.com/NoDQ&AV, episode 39 is done. And to quote Mike, we out, bitches!
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J, an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this installment of the Renegade of Wrestling. I am your host, the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams, here to bring you my thoughts and happenings in the world of independent pro wrestling. That's right, I am the guy on the channel that takes a step back from all the mainstream bull crap that they throw at us every Monday, Thursday, and Friday, and occasional Sunday on television to give you the ins and outs and the best of the other shit. The shit that you need to be paying attention to, because, you know, I actually had somebody IM me last night ask me, why do I like independent wrestling so much? Why do I always talk about independent wrestling? Independent wrestling has much nicer guys than the pro circuit. The women are better wrestlers than on the pro circuit. And the matches overall are 100 times better usually than anything you see on any Monday, Thursday, or Friday. You know, occasionally on Sundays they pull out all the stops, but for the most part, you know, what you see on the Indy circuit is 100 times better match quality wise. That is why I like the Indies so much. Plus, the Indies is where the guys come from for the big feds. You know, your Bryan Danielsons that made a name in PWG and ROH before he became Daniel Bryan in WWE. Your CM Punks, who made a name in IWA Mid-South, Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, just to name a couple feds before he blew up on WWE TV. Evan Bourne, Dragon Gate USA, Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, when he was Matt Sydal. The list goes on and on. Guys that started out on the indie circuit, banged around and bumped for, you know, 20 or 30 people in a gymnasium or a bingo hall before they finally got to one of the big three at the time, you know, WWF, WCW, or ECW. Now WWE or TNA. So the reason I focus on these guys is so y'all know what to expect from them when they finally get called, because some of these guys will get called. They will. When we were at the Arrowhead Pond a couple weeks ago for that Raw, I saw a bunch of our buddies show up there for background work, dark matches, whatever. So these guys are getting looked at. You will be hearing from them soon. Anyways, on to the topic at hand. Battleground Pro Wrestling has presented 2 shows this month that we were at. I'm going to go over the one that happened a couple weeks ago first, open season. Really good show up in Southgate. I'm not going to go over every single match because, as I've already said, you're not going to know these guys, but I'm going to tell you the ones that you need to pay attention to. The first match that really caught my eye was a triple threat match. I guess you could say it was to determine the #1 contender for their Ring Warrior title, since the winner ended up getting a shot this past weekend. Jeremy Yeager versus Chris Cadillac versus Seville Alvarez, with Jeremy Yeager getting the victory. Very, very fun, very, very energetic match. Could compare it to the old school WCW Cruiserweight division or the TNA's X division. That's the style and type of wrestling that these guys put on, and the type of energy they have in their matches. I see big things for Chris Cadillac in the future, although it was Yeager that got the victory. Nothing against Yeager, but out of the 3, I see Cadillac going on to bigger and better things in one of the major companies. The Black Knights, Casa D18 Studios homies, took on the Revolution. And the Revolution, hard-fought match against the Knights. The Knights, it went to a no contest when one of the other performers on the card did a run and interfered, but I gotta give a shout out to Jason Andrews of the Revolution. Dude broke his arm in the match, and he was still there this past Saturday to support his tag team partner in the Battleground Blitz. That's heart, that's dedication, that's guts. He finished the match with a broken arm. Big shout out to the Revolution and the Knights for putting on a really good, strong style, hard fought match. Comic relief of the night had to go to the fanny pack match. 2 men who have made it their shtick as of late to rely on their fanny packs, Sasha Derevko and Ray Rosas, had pretty much a winner-take-all fanny pack match, and it was just some of the funniest shit. It was a great match, but it was for sheer comedy purposes. That match was fucking awesome, and Ray Rosas ended up getting the victory for that. Ray Rosas, again, longtime friend of the channel. You can catch him every Saturday on NWA Hollywood, or the following Wednesday on NWAHollywood.com, where they upload their episodes there. Santino Brothers, LCW, etc., etc., etc. Quite possibly the first match of the year candidate, in my opinion. The West Coast Heavyweight Championship match. Joey Ryan defending against Famous B. That match was fucking sick. Definitely match of the month, and if I was, doing a running tab for match of the year, that would already be candidate number 1 for match of the year, in my opinion. Both these guys put on a really good, hard-fought Matt Classic. Not to be confused with the Worker. Really good Matt Classic. Joey, longtime vet. You've actually seen him on WWE TV before as a jobber. Famous B. If you've seen the UWF pay-per-view commercials, those of you that watched the Rumble the other night, showed some commercials for the Urban Wrestling Federation. Famous B works over there, so you can catch him on pay-per-views. Again, NWA Hollywood for both those gentlemen. Really, like I said, really, really good hard-fought match. Not much more I can say about that one at this time. Next Battleground show was this past weekend. Open Season it was called. Or no, that was the one I just did. Sorry, my phone's jumping on me. God damn it. Battleground Blitz, excuse me, was the name of the pay-per-view. Name of the show. This past weekend.
That phone call fucked you up, dude. It's all over the place.
It did. The phone call fucked me up, and I slept in way later than I should have. I was up till almost 4 o'clock last night, making sure y'all could see our Rumble thoughts, afterthoughts, and then that phone call. So, excuse me, I'm a little bit disoriented here right now. Battleground Blitz was this past Saturday in Los Alamitos, and Jeremy Yeager, who, as I mentioned, more or less became #1 contender to the Ring Warrior title, captured that championship this past weekend against B-Boy, who was the defending champion, and Chris Cadillac, who was also in the match, another triple threat. Jeff, chime in here if you want to on this one. I've been noticing that Battleground is very fond of triple threat matches.
They very much are. I have yet to see the Ring Warrior Championship since that first show where we were on opposite sides of the aisle, not defended in a triple threat match. I think Ray faced one guy that night when he was champion. I think everything else since then has been triple threat, I think.
You're right. I think that was the night Ray won the belt against Lucha Machine.
Yes.
I believe Lucha was the champion.
Lucha defended against his partner Ray, and then ever since then it's been triple threat.
Yeah.
Ever since. Because B-Boy won it from Ray in a triple threat.
Yeah. I believe Cadillac was in that match too.
Give Chris the bell, BPW bookers.
But anyways, they're fond of triple threat matches, which can either be great or clusterfucky all at the same time. It just depends what guys you've got in the ring. And luckily, Battleground knows what guys to put in the ring to keep it from getting clusterfucky, because Jeremy Yeager is a hell of a mat technician. I was not a fan of him when we first went to Battleground last August, but I have slowly come around to becoming a fan of Yeager. His work ethic and his style is it's just awesome. I really, really recommend that the next time Battleground runs a show, which I'll get to later in this program, that you guys come out and check out the show, check out Jeremy Yeager, check out Chris Cadillac and some of these other guys, because I'm sure they'll be there. But Yeager became the Ring Warrior champion. Big ups to him. Congratulations, Yeager. I know I got to tell you that after the show, but here we are in front of the 2,000 plus subscribers on our channel, giving you a little bit of publicity here. Congratulations, Jeremy Yeager, on becoming the Ring Warrior champion. We then had a triple threat tag team match, which, was a last minute thing because shit happened. Card is always subject to change in the wrestling world. Suburban Commandos, Circumsexy, and the Black Knights Again, a no contest in a match that featured the Knights. However, you know, there was a DQ. It was a DQ, but with two other teams, I guess it has to go to a no contest when there's a DQ in a triple threat. You know, Something Nasty, the Commandos tag team finisher, was banned in the match. They hit it on Sean Black. Looked like he took it very, very nasty. I guess that's why it's called Something Nasty. Because his back was kind of foobar post-show. Sean, I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah. He was on stage with us the rest of the night, just up against the wall like, and with Dill whooping his ass.
Again, really good, hard-fought, strong style match. And if you don't know what strong style is, look up some Japan stuff. That is strong style. The shortest match of the night, not counting Dylan versus Thunder Kitty. Thunder Kitty versus Tara Calloway. Former Wild World Champion versus the current Wild North American Champion in Battleground Pro Wrestling with no title on the line because Thunder Kitty is no longer aligned with the company.
It's not a Wild sanctioned match, that's
right. But it was, for what it was in 4.5 minutes of glory, still better than half the crap WWE puts on TV in a women's match. It was quick, but it was effective. Thunder Kitty went in, whooped ass, and left. And she may be leaving for good. Rumor is she's moving to the East Coast. I don't know if it's another wrestling school that she's going over there for or a job opportunity, but hope to see you back here on the West Coast soon, Thunder Kitty. Your presence will be missed in the women's division until you get back here. Another fanny pack match, the reigning North American fanny pack champion, Sheik Khan Abadi, took on the defending SoCal fanny pack champion, Ray Rosas. Again, comedy match, definitely, but really, really good, high-flying plus technical action, a la early ECW, before it became all about barbed wire and thumbtacks and staple guns and all that shit. Back in the Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Shane Douglas, Chris Jericho days, mixed in with a little bit of the Rey Mysterio, Psychosis, Conan days. That type of ECW wrestling is kind of fast-paced technical action that we saw in this match. It's a really, really good match. And then I'm going to skip ahead to the Battleground Blitz match, which is kind of like, I'm not going to take the exact same wording that I heard Jeff say, even though his is going up after this. So it would look like I said it first. I know I just kind of totally blew the kayfabe on that, but whatever. Whatever. You know what? Kayfabe is fucking dead in wrestling. So
except on SmackDown.
Yeah, when Teddy Long says it to Oksana.
That's right.
To me, the match reminded me a little bit of, obviously, the Rumble, but then the Gauntlet for the Gold from TNA. I don't know if you guys out there, you viewers out there, remember the Gauntlet for the Gold, but the Gauntlet for the Gold in TNA is essentially a 18-man battle royal, 20-man, but 18 men had to be eliminated. When it came down to the final two, it became pinfall or submission only. Now, pinfall or submission was allowed throughout the entire match. Any way that you could get eliminated was an elimination. Pinfall, submission, count out, disqualification, over the top rope, you know, throw all those things into a match. 4 men in the ring at a time, no more than 4. Which, that's the only part I kind of didn't like. I would like to have seen the ring fill up a little bit more than 4 guys, but then again, they're not wrestling in a 20 by 20 either, so, you know, you throw guys the size of a Mikey O'Shea and, you know, Extreme Loco, even though they weren't in the match, but you start throwing 3 or 4 of those type of guys in the ring, and the ring's going to get full pretty quick. Nothing against y'all, you know we love you, but you compare your guys' probably a 16 by 16 ring to the standard 20 by 20, and get some bigger bodies in there, it's going to fill up quicker. Brandon Gatson outlasted everybody else. become the #1 contender to Rico's title. And there was actually a little bit of taunting after the match. It looked like Brandon was going to cash in his opportunity right then and there. But Rico, being the intelligent man that he was, decided to back off. Because Rico pretty much did the same thing. When he won the Ramirez Cup, he cashed in his opportunity right then and there and became a champion. So that is all the news from Battleground Pro Wrestling for right now. I want to go ahead and plug the next show for them on February 25th, Los Alamitos, California, American Legion Post number 716. I believe Jeff gave the address. I don't remember it off the top of my head, so just Google search American Legion Post 716, Los Alamitos, California. Find it right there.
Well, I haven't given it yet. I'll give it on the next show.
That's true.
There you go. Kayfabe.
The other show I want to talk about was a decent enough show, but it was very, very kind of clusterfucky because you could tell it was thrown together at the last minute. And that was the Empire Wrestling Federation show that was thrown together in the Chino/Ontario area at a church function, which we went to see the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase was there giving his testimonial about how he found God and everything, and not really the most religious guy am I, but wanted to meet the $1 Million Man, so fuck it, and it was free wrestling too. Want to give a quick thank you to Ted. Hope y'all can see that good on camera. $1 Million Man hooked us up with $1 Million bill, complete with his picture on it. Only the Casa D18 Studios family got that. The whole rest of the show did not. We were lucky because we stayed till the end, had a little personal one-on-one conversation. Unfortunately, we didn't think to roll camera. Kind of kicking ourselves in the ass on that one, but
He'll be back.
he will be back, just like the Terminator. He'll be back.
He's in California a lot more than we think he is.
So, like I said, it was a pretty clusterfucky show, but there were a couple of matches where I saw potential in some of the people, and that's what I'm going to go over right now. Eddie Manson, Maddox, and the Yellow Viper. The Yellow Viper was one of the church folk who got involved in the match to kind of help further the relation between church and wrestling. Took on the Barroom Saints and Dr. J. Again, Dr. J was a church folk who got involved in the match. Barroom Saints were an awesome tag team. I really thought that they had a good look, a good style, and I hope that the Saints end up getting picked up by some of the other companies here in SoCal. Maybe we can eventually see them on NWA Hollywood. Maybe we can bring them into Battleground to help strengthen their tag team division, even though they've already got a pretty solid division. One more team definitely wouldn't hurt them. And, you know, every SoCal team's dream, pretty much, hopefully one day they'll get to Gorilla. I think with enough hard work, enough more time as a team, you know, to polish up their chemistry and get their skills solid, I could definitely see them in Gorilla one day. The Saints obviously won the match, otherwise I probably wouldn't be talking them up as much as I am. But Barroom Saints, keep your ear out for that name, because if we ever go to another EWF show, I have a feeling we will be talking either to them or more about them in the future. And then the main event for the EWF Heavyweight Championship, Johnny Starr defended his title against Killa Gorilla. Johnny Starr won that match, and Killa Gorilla, I don't know if it was intentional. Probably not, considering he just came back, you know, a couple weeks prior to when this took place. Killa Gorilla came out looking like Brodus Clay, minus the Adidas jumpsuit.
And the Funkats.
The church crowd, granted it was me and Double A that got the chant started, but the church crowd was chanting Funkasaurus at him. It's kind of all you got to say.
You had people in a church chanting Funkasaurus. Marinate that for a minute, Jay. Marinate on that for a minute, Jay.
I take pride in that. The one thing I do want to give EWF, though, is like, a lot of people shit on wrestling federations for using replica belts for their titles. But God damn it, when it's a Classic Intercontinental title...
They have had that belt for a minute, and they redesigned that so well, make it like their own belt. It looks sweet.
I gotta give them credit for using the Classic Intercontinental. They didn't go for the Winged Eagle. They didn't go for one of those world titles that's a world titles, and we're just making it our own world title now. And for the IC belt. They took the Workhorse title and turned that into their world title. And even though this is my first EWF show, I think that says leaps and bounds about the way they train their students over at the School of Hard Knocks and the type of talent that is coming out of there. They want their guys to be workhorses. So big shout out to Jesse Hernandez for throwing that show. It was a free show at that, which is part of why we went. Let's not fake the funk here, because money is tight. So.
But it cost us our car at the end of the day.
Yeah. That is all the wrestling news from the indie circuit that I've got today. I do have to give one more plug, because that's how we roll here at Casa D18 Studios. This Friday, February 3rd, Curtis Middle School, Carson, California. Wrestling gets massive. The debut show for the brand new SoCal company, Pro Wrestling Massive. Casa D18 Studios is going to be in the motherfucking house. Keep your eyes open for us, because you never know where we may pop up. I'm not going to tell you what we're doing there. I'm going to entice you to go. Get your asses out there. You'll be able to see a bunch of the guys we've talked about from Battleground Pro Wrestling there. Mikey O'Shea's supposed to be in the house. Tito Escondido, Rico Dynamite, Sam Knight and Sean Black. Vintage Dragon is supposed to be there. I believe he is challenging for their world title. He's going to be in the match to decide the very first ever Pro Wrestling Massive champion. I could be wrong about that. If I am wrong, I'll post a note in the comment board about that. Keep in mind, card is always subject to change. The lovely Tara Calloway will be there, managing her man to ringside. Pro Wrestling Massive, Curtis Middle School, Friday, February 3rd, 6 o'clock bell time. We will see you there.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Stat Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeep's here. Keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Hey y'all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Chicks on Wrestling. I am your hostess, the wonderful, talented, charming, quite challenging Pinky, and you are?
The simple Jade Hogan.
Cool.
I need a better intro.
You
have like this extravagant, intro, and I'm just Jade.
You have to, if you can't put yourself over, don't nobody else want to put you over.
That's probably why I don't get over very often.
I'm not gonna go there.
Hey!
I didn't do it. First of all,
no
we have
catmates on this show.
hashtag nobody cares. Hashtag I care. We are first up. We have some wrestling to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. But before that, we need to send our prayers and please be safe to our people, fans over on the East Coast. They are being hit hard with Hurricane Sandy.
Oh, yeah.
The winds in that torrent is looking real bad. People's houses are literally being moved from the shores.
I saw
people's houses, bridges, and cars and stuff are underwater.
Like a freaking tsunami again.
Exactly. Hurricane Sandy. For all of our fans who are out on the East Coast and probably can't watch it right now, we are sending our well wishes, and you'll be back soon. So, Hurricane Sandy, why don't you just go on, lay down to a tropical storm and let's blow this over. We'll be happy.
Calm down.
Yes, and smack down your vote. Voting polls open November 6th. Vote wherever you can, vote whenever you can, and you can actually put in who you want to be on the ballot. Someone says CM Punk for president.
Is that like a first, or is it?
No, it's always been like that.
Really?
When you
I never noticed that.
when you vote, there's always a little box at the end. And please, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. There's always a little box at the end. You write in who you want.
Really?
President, vice president, whatever. I don't know if I'm gonna go CM Punk. I might as well say Taker.
Noticed where I wanted to poke, and that was it.
No, not now. But you can actually do that. You can actually write in who you want to be president. I might as well say Taker. Yay. So please make down your vote. Make your voices heard. This election hopefully will put us with our president for the second term.
Yay.
And what would be scary is, even if that goes, what happens in 2016?
I don't want to know.
Hopefully our first female president
That would be awesome.
of the United States of America, Hillary Clinton, and the first man would be Bill Clinton.
Which would be so weird.
That'd be so awesome.
So freaking awesome, but it's so funny at the same time.
But it would be. I honestly think that'd probably be the best thing for this country, except for she might have every 28 days ready to kill the world.
What are you doing, Stat Boy?
Stat Boy.
I would like to endorse the Chicks on Wrestling in 2016 because they're going to be awesome.
Thank you, Stat Boy.
That's my man.
Bill Caldwell.
Wow.
Thank you oh so much for that wonderful endorsement.
My name is
thought he
Bill
was Stat
Clinton and
Down.
I approve this message.
Wow.
Stat Boy approved. Hashtag it.
I thought he was Stat Down, not...
Hey, that was on his show. He's Damien Statdown. God bless him anyway. It's after Halloween, and, you know, the weirdest things have happened this week in wrestling. Holy crap. Let's start with Impact.
Yay.
After about
The better show.
Yeah, I totally agree. The better show.
Which
first
is sad.
I know.
The secondary show.
I thought the secondary show was SmackDown.
No, that's third.
Oh, that's kind of wrong.
But it's so right.
That's so right. Our first match is RVD, the X Division champion, versus Zema Ion. RVD wins.
Yay!
5-star frog splash. Zema, you really need to do something about your hair. Your hair is scaring the hell out of my unborn children.
You
My
need
baby's
to
saying,
brush
what?
your hair.
Brush your hair. I think he does brush it just with a...
It looks like he just rolled out of bed and decided to wrestle.
Yeah, say here, hairspray gone. RVD, I love you, boo boo boo. When you do a moonsault, split leg moonsault, please remember to hit your target.
Yeah, seriously, that was sad.
Don't don't
For a
have
wrestler that how many years has he been wrestling?
Eons. Eons. He's been wrestling for a cool minute. How the hell you not hit the split leg and moonsault on?
You've been doing that for how many years now? Come
Years.
on.
Hit your target, but you win anyway. Yay, RVD. He still looks good if I do say so myself.
That's why he's got a booty
on him. Chavo and Hernandez signs the petition for the World Tag Team Champions of the World. Team UPW. What in the world? What in the world? I have a question. Somebody please tell me what the U.S. is going on with Hernandez and Chavo. This is not the reemergence of Los Guerreros. This ain't. Cut it out.
Ain't happening.
It doesn't do it.
Cannot repeat it. Just ain't gonna happen.
We know. There's supposed to be somebody's faces.
Did I catch you off guard there? She totally went, what? Oh.
I'm sorry. I just totally lost my train. Listening to this chick here, I done lost it all.
Sorry.
Who faces Jeff Hardy for his title? Did anybody catch the production assistant director yell cut?
That was freaking hilarious.
That was not hilarious. That was so stupid.
That was so funny. I was like...
No, it wasn't. It's like you guys just said, forget to mute the idiot with the mic that should not be talking behind the camera.
I think Conan just went, maybe they won't notice.
We heard you, fool.
We heard you.
Whosoever you is. Cut. Who ended up facing Jeff Hardy for his title? None other than the Olympic gold medal champion himself. Kurt freaking Angle. Hey, what you got against Kurt Angle? What do you do to you?
I've never liked Kurt Angle.
Why?
He never, he doesn't have the spunk that I like.
Girl, where the hell have you been?
He's just always been just blah.
Kurt, she called you blah, not me. Let me get a little history.
I'm sure you've been called worse.
That's rude. Let me give you a little quick little history lesson on Mr. Kurt friggin' Angle.
Go ahead.
Kurt Angle from Clarion University won the Olympics 1996 with a broken freaking neck. Yeah, he did. He was actually supposed to be in ECW later that same year, but saw something that the boys did that was not kosher to him. Had a wrestler crucified and carried out of the arena. Kurt said, no way, I would not be a part of this company, take my name off of it, my picture, likeness, whatever. He shows up 3.5 years later in WWF. Yeah, I said it. WWF. He is the most celebrated Olympic champion ever. Don't take that as a gimmick, because it's true. It's true. It's damn true. Kurt Angle actually is one of the top wrestlers of our time. Not necessarily because he, was all jacked up or anything. Yeah, he was a bit roided out. But Kurt could do moonsaults. He could literally run from the middle of the ring on up to the top of the turnbuckle and suplex somebody from the top rope.
And I'm not doubting that. I'm not saying that it's not true. And I'm not saying that he's not a talented wrestler. It's just, he's not one of my favorites. I don't particularly care for him.
You don't like the ground and pound wrestlers. You like the high flyers, the cutie pies. That can, oh, okay.
Kurt, I like high flying. I like fast paced.
He did that too.
I don't like the except for a couple of them, technical wrestlers.
Oh my God.
I am one of those, as my big brother would like to say, C-Nation girls.
You are.
I like that kind of wrestling. I do.
Then unfortunately, boo-boo, love you to death, and please do not forgive me for saying this, because I'm going to tell you to the day I die, you missed the boat on when you missed Kurt Angle. You missed seeing Kurt Angle at his height. He was amazing. For the simple fact, and matter of fact, Kurt actually had neck surgery in 2003. Came back, trained, got back to WrestleMania. He won, and then Brock Lesnar, following WrestleMania, decided to do a shooting star press of WrestleMania 19. Are you stupid, Brock? Let's not do that no more. Anyway, Kurt Angle is one of the greatest wrestlers of our time. I would honestly say that, and I don't say that about a lot of people, but Kurt Angle can still go to this day. He might not be as flashy as you're used to. If you ever call Kurt Angle on a great day, let's say circa 1999, 2000, 2001, Kurt Angle is at his absolute best. Knee surgeries, back surgeries, neck surgeries, through it all, he's still Kurt friggin' Angle. Name me one wrestler, and go ahead, I'll wait. Come back from a neck surgery, win the title, go to Mania, and still win the title. I'll wait. That's what I thought. Thank you, Kurt friggin' Angle.
I don't answer it, I'll wait. I hate that.
I know. Yeah, next one. Aces and Eights. Oh my God. Devon, how are y'all gonna drink beer when you can't even see past the mask?
That was kind of funny.
And I was hoping that I was hoping
I was like wondering how they're gonna do it.
I really was. Samoa Jojo versus Robbie T, Rob Terry the Freak, whatever. I'm so glad Joe killed you. It's not even funny. I am.
Jumping. You're jumping.
This is what I got. Jeez. Samoa Joe, I cannot wait to see you back in, Cali wrestling. It was beautiful to watch you in PWG. Do you have anything there? After Samoa Jojo? Oh God, what? Please do not tell me Aces and Eights, because I need to go loud.
I'm trying to find where you were.
Mr. Anderson?
I think so.
Austin Aries?
Yes.
Yeah, the little shit one.
Yeah. Look what I wrote. Tell the audience what I wrote.
Ladies and gentlemen, please forgive us for the following. She wrote...
Kids asleep, so I don't have to.
She wrote asshole double A, Mr. Anderson. For those of you who gets that reference, she did it. It wasn't me.
Can't stand that little shit.
the shortest. Well, I personally can't stand Austin Aries. I mean, I honestly thought we would have called him the biggest asshole ever. Austin Aries cheated to win. Yay, next. Do we have Tessmacher?
Tessmacher versus Tara.
Who won that one?
Tara wins with the Widow's Peak.
Yay, Tara.
That is so pretty. I love that move.
Oh God, I really wish I could learn from the best. Hey Tara, can you teach me the Widow's Peak? Yeah, exactly. But
yeah, you're not using it against me.
Spoiler. What is it?
Yeah, but you.
Shut up, girl. What's next on your list? Besides
Hogan and
yeah, Joseph Parks, Abyss. Oop.
They just talked.
I just broke the fourth ceiling. I probably shouldn't have said that. Oopsie. Talks to Hogan. Whine, cry. Man, what's the name? With the aces and eights, you don't have my back. I'll make my own back. You made your own back, you bastard. Shut up. Bully Ray.
Do you want to talk about Bully Ray? Because I'm so over them.
I know. Okay.
I'm so over Bully Ray and Devon.
Okay.
Going at it.
I know. Dumb question. Hold on. Before I even get to my question. Why the hell is Bully Ray even whining about what Devon supposedly did to him? Did anybody remember what Bully Ray did to him 2 years ago with his sons involved in the matches too? Beat up his boys at ringside, beat up his boys in the ring, beat their daddy up in front of them. Yeah, I'd be a tap his too. It's called picking your spots and picking your fights correctly. Devon actually waited. He waited 2 years to get his revenge. And we all found out he can really give a fuck less about the fans. That's what Bully said, and Devon actually agreed with him, which I honestly think is quite stupid. And Bully Ray, just shut up and take your ass whooping like a man. If you want the aces and eights, you still have to go through the aces and eights to even get to Devon, which probably will never ever happen. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I'm still thinking, who might be the leader of Aces and Eights? I actually think it might be Bully Ray.
I was going to say, that would be actually kind of smart.
I
think it'd be smart for them to do that.
Explain, please.
Because they're having this whole, anger towards each other, so no one would think that it would be him.
Oh, so you'd be saying they were in cahoots?
Yeah.
Now, who would the other leaders, the other members of Aces and Eights be? Honestly, maybe some old ECW guys. Maybe.
Some old fired guys, maybe?
Maybe.
Coming back to show revenge on the fact that they were fired?
That could be it, and show revenge that Hulk Hogan is still alive and they're
kicking?
Not. Yeah, he really shouldn't be kicking at all. Now, back to Kurt freaking Angle. Kurt challenges Jeff Hardy for the world title. Whoa, arm drags galore. Have we been watching some Ricky the Dragon Steamboat tapes, Jeff Hardy?
I love the arm drag.
That arm drag was sick, it was deep, and it was quite effective, although Kurt did kind of win.
Yeah, with the rope.
Yeah, I know. But it was for non-title. That's all. No, it's for the title, but Kurt still won. Aces and Eights beats up Kurt Angle at the end of the show. Really? Y'all couldn't have picked nobody else to beat up a Kurt?
We also forgot that. Oh.
Hold on. No, I didn't.
I didn't know if you were.
No, I did not.
Okay.
What I failed to realize before I was rudely interrupted, it will be Kurt freaking Angle versus Jeffrey Nero Hardy, my charismatic enigma, the leader of the Creatures of the Night, the wonderful creator of my imagination at Turning Point. Cool. That's going to be good, and it's going to be for the Impact World title. Austin Aries, you short little shit, quit knocking people out with somebody else's belt. Just go away.
Notice he has to use something to knock people out.
I thought it was his breath that knocked somebody out. What? Don't hate.
I'm loving it. Are you kidding me?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. What do we have for SmackDown, dear?
Randy comes up to talk about Del Rio.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you. And I was hoping and praying that you would just lay a SmackDown on his ass because I'm so sick of ADR. Alberto Del Rio, Alberto the Water. I'm so sick of him. Randy, do me a favor. At Survivor Series, crack him upside his head. That's all I'm saying. RKO him to hell. Chewy too. It'd be funny. RKO him to hell. I don't.
Ryback versus Kane. Kane wins.
Hooray! I'm the
sorry,
tag team champion.
not Ryback.
Cody Rhodes.
God, my brain is not with me today.
Cody Rhodes versus Kane. We all knew how this match was gonna go. Excuse me 1 second. I'm the tag team champion.
I'm the tag team champion.
We really don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Kane wins. We go home happy. Yay!
Miz versus Yoshitatsu.
I love me some Yoshitatsu. Yoshi is second mid-card hell, as we all like to call it. It's the truth. Yoshi has some talents that these United States of America haven't seen yet since he got to the WWE.
Me and you actually got into a good conversation over Yoshi.
Didn't we? About Japanese wrestlers? Correct. There is a Japanese wrestler, and I'm going back a little bit to TNA here. There's a Japanese wrestler by the name of Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I finally remembered the name.
Shut up. Final Destination 2006 versus AJ Styles. First time over here in the States to see Hiroshi Tanahashi pull off some moves that I can't even pronounce without even, having cheat sheets, and I don't even have my cheat sheet today. Was sick. It is finally time we see some really good Japanese wrestlers, and no offense to Jushin Thunder Liger, he's been around forever. It's time to get some new blood in there. Would somebody please Yoshi? The Yoshi Army, we're calling for it. Hashtag Yoshi Army.
He is the sweetest man too.
He just can't speak English, but thank you, Kofi, for trying to teach him.
Respectful, even though he can't speak English, he is so respectful.
Now here's something different that I'm sure our fans might have realized between our crowds and the Japanese crowds. They are less vocal about their adoration for their wrestlers, but they clap. Of course, they cheer, but they don't get loud and crazy as us. They are completely respectful. If anybody notices, if you ever catch Yoshi actually getting in the ring, he actually bows to the ring post before he even steps on the apron. He bows to the ring post. That shows his respect for the wrestling business.
Yeah, you were telling me that the other day, and I was just like, really?
Yeah.
Because I didn't even notice it.
A lot of Japanese wrestlers, if not all of them, bow to the ring because that is their sacred ground. That is their home. That is where they hone their craft. So awesome. Yes, they bow. They show respect to the fans. And a lot of Japanese wrestlers will, heel or face, win or lose, will even thank the crowd, for watching. Thank you for inviting me into your home to allow me to perform for you.
There's a couple in PWG actually that did that.
Yeah, they bowed.
That was like the one thing that I remember about them because I was just like, that is so cool.
That they actually bowed.
Even if they lost, they were like, thank you still for letting me, wrestle in your ring.
Yeah, exactly. How much more respect can you possibly get behind that?
Yeah. Next match. Randy versus Wade.
Yes. Thank you, Randy Orton, for kicking that crap out of this fool. Who won?
Wade won with a distraction from Del Rio.
I know he did. So that means we have a couple of things for Survivor Series. A couple of scenarios. Randy versus Alberto, one-on-one, with Ricardo Rodriguez banned from ringside. Yeah, right. That probably would never.
I was going to say.
I know, damn it, I know.
Chewy is not going to get banned.
He should get banned, or is it Vicky Guerrero that should get banned from ringside? Her voice should get banned from ringside. Product placement. Totally. So what did you think about this match, my dear? Yeah, I know, I'm asking you to think. So, use your note.
I just really didn't like it. I thought it was bullshit.
Why did you think it was bullshit? Because the finish was bullshit?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, considering what's going leading into Survivor Series, of course it's going to, be some...
The match itself was a good match.
Yes, it was.
But the finish was just bullshit.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be bullshit, honey, because you see Nation Chick over here don't get the point that there has to be a story told going into the next pay-per-view.
No, I do.
Hold on. Y'all seen Nation cheering. Y'all don't get the art of telling a story. You can't just have Alberto Del Rio get clobbered by Randy Orton every chance we get, although we'd love that. But there has to be some mystery into it. Of course, Bossman is shaking his head no. Of course, there has to be some mystery, some suspense to it, which WWE is not known for being suspenseful since 1990, whatever. I still say Randy Orton should have won the match, but that's okay. That leaves that open for a couple of things.
See, I am a C Nation girl, but I'm also one that I really am tired of, like, all the drama.
Yeah.
In it.
Of course.
I'd like to just see some
wrestling. I hear you.
It's more drama than it is wrestling. It's like, really?
Well, honey, because
why am I watching this when I could just watch Days of Our Lives or something like that?
I agree. my personal opinion, and somebody give me an amen on this one. When they went from 2 to 3 hours of Raw, there has to be something else to take up that extra hour of TV time, people. Including drama.
It couldn't be just actual good wrestling, no.
No, because they don't have that many good wrestlers in the company. Oh.
Get some more. Hire some more people.
They're all in TNA.
Bring in some of the people that are in the
Indy.
Ring of Honor. No.
NXT.
No. School.
FTW.
Thank you.
Yeah, honey, but those kids are green. The only two, and I will say this again, the only two that should, 2 to 3 gentlemen that should come up from FCW goes right onto SmackDown and or Raw should be Leo Kruger, hey, Richie Steamboat, how do you do, and my boy, CJ Parker. That boy can wrestle. From my hometown, Chicago, Illinois. Yay! He can actually kick ass. Those be the only 3 I think of that can, move up in the ranks and, fill in that time slot.
What about any of the girls?
Shaw Guerrero is gone. No.
So is Buggy. Pretty much.
Oh, she'll be back.
Hopefully. I would love her to be back, but...
Me too. She'll be back.
Who knows?
Don't worry. Now, our last match.
Because I'd actually like to see her against AJ. That would be a really cool match. Oh, duh.
Yeah, but he's already on NXT. Cassius Ohno is my hero.
But bring him into the spotlight.
Well, we've already said this on our last show. Can we have a fantastic tag team? Kings of Wrestling.
I was going to say, they have his partner. Why not bring him in?
Because...
he's just as good, if not better.
If not better.
Not even if not, he is better.
I agree. I had the wonderful pleasure of seeing my Chris hero, Cassius Ohno, in FCW right before I left. And he cut a promo that was something sick and beautiful to behold. YouTube that. And he actually wrestled and won his first match. It was beautiful. Now can we get the Kings of Wrestling, please? The tag team division sucks. Matter of fact, put them on SmackDown. Have them face the primetime players. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Oh crap.
2! Damn it.
I did it again.
2 shows.
Shut up. Okay. We have... oh god. Caitlyn versus who?
Potty break. No. Layla.
We have a tag team divas match.
Caitlyn and Layla
versus Eve and Oksana. Eve and Oksana win. Eve slithers out the ring.
It was Eve, basically.
That pretty much won.
Won the match. Oksana just was there for the ride.
That sounds a little. Pretty much SmackDown, with the exception of Randy Orton, Sheamus, and the whole thing with Big Show and Randy Orton was horrible.
Yeah.
Is there anything
kind of like the pay-per-view. Just blew.
I know. Let's moving on. We are not even going to touch on the pay-per-view because I'm sure you guys have seen our results show for Hell in a Cell, and it was a snooze fest. Moving on.
Literally.
Monday Night Raw. Really?
Does
nobody have anything to do here? We have 3 hours of a show. Why is it the first 15, 20 minutes? And I even stepped out for this one. And I still came back and they were still running in their mouth. Why is the first 10, 15 minutes of the show is about running his mouth? And of course, no one still addressed the AJ and John Cena situation. We'll get to that in a minute. First up, we have...
You have better notes than I do right now because I went from there.
Yeah, there. We have CM Punk running his mouth and getting punked out by everyone's favorite uncle, the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. You would think, Punk, you would actually take Foley's advice and, you know, do better than you did at Hell in a Cell this past Sunday. Oh my God, crooked referee. Wait a minute.
That referee is pissing me off.
Wait. Dumb question. Anybody think that the Heyman Army can be increased by 1 or 2? Mick Foley, CM Punk, the crooked referee Brad Maddox, Google him, and CM Punk. Mick Foley was a part of ECW for a long time.
Maybe.
Could be a resurrection of ECW. Nah, I know Boss is not happy. I know we're all
Please
hoping.
leave it alone.
No, I love ECW. The old ECW before WWE took it over and wanted it.
That's why I don't want it, because it's just going to be another WWE produced thing, and it's going to be a WWE produced thing.
Which will be watered down to hell.
It sucks. It's already been done. It sucked. It tanked. It
tanked.
Over.
Okay.
Don't need to rehash it again.
Okay.
Let it be a pay-per-view, if it's going to have it at all.
Oh, excuse us. Correct. My bad. Excuse me for the yawn. I'm tired. Vicky Guerrero, you really need to learn how to shut your mouth, because we see too many damn teeth, girl. If you had another row of teeth, girl, you'd be a freaking shark.
Oh.
You are a dentist's dream, aren't you?
Ow.
What is the truth? This chick is still talking about she has video evidence that John Cena and AJ had an affair. The definition of affair, if one or the other person is married and sleeping outside of their marriage, that's an affair. Who the hell's married here?
Nobody.
No. What I don't understand is this. All the evidence pointed to Cena and AJ having an affair. If they were innocent, why are they so defensive about it?
Because it's nobody else's business.
Exactly. You just said it. It's nobody else's business.
They want their personal lives to be their personal lives.
Well, their personal life shouldn't be on videotape either. Getting on an elevator and having dinner, which I honestly think that was a backdrop to the WWE studios. Just saying.
To me, it did not even really look incriminating.
The only thing that was incriminating was a hug, and that was just a hug. Not like he smooched her like he did the Hosky Eve.
Seriously, he hugs his fans. Is he sleeping with all his fans now? Come on.
He might be sleeping with a couple of them skanky hoes, ring rats. What? I got hoes. I got hoes in different area codes.
I'd walk off, but I can't really do that.
Thank you.
And it takes too much to get up here again after falling off. So, yeah.
But what's funny is, I'm sorry, Vicky, you really should just shut the hell up at some point and just realize that there's nothing going on. But hey, John.
Shit stir.
But AJ, John, if there's something going on, make sure there's no cameras around. Although,
just admit it.
I don't think they want to admit it. They have people back home that might get a tad pissed off behind that.
And WWE, seriously, get some original material. Because I'm sorry, but it looks like you're copying TNA.
Because they are AJ and Dixie, disgusting couple. At least they got a cute couple with John and AJ. Is all I'm saying. Anyway, enough of that mess.
That's kind of funny because it was AJ and AJ.
Dumbass. It was AJ and AJ. Although AJ Styles is. Sorry.
Boss Man's just going, oh my God.
You sick children. We know, Boss Man. We're sorry. First match up after about 20 minutes of Boss Man is stuffing his head. Oh God, he's stuffing his head. Damn it, Boss Man. Damn it. Oh God, we're gonna die.
We're not supposed to be laughing on this show. We're supposed to be serious about our wrestling, and he's making funny jokes upon
We
camera.
are serious about our
Damn it.
wrestling. We're serious enough that we're tired of the bullshit, the drama, and shit. After 20 minutes of running their mouth, and after I just stepped back into the picture, we have our first match: champion versus champion. The Intercontinental Champion, Kofi Kingston.
Yay!
Boo. Versus the United States Champion, Antonio Cesaro, Double C. And for those of you who don't know what Double C means, Claudio Castagnoli. Match ended in a DQ, thanks to The Miz and the save by R-Truth. I am waiting. Yes,
Okay,
boss man,
whatever.
we know. I personally can't do it, so this is what I'm supposed to do, so I'm going to do. There you go.
She done did that.
My fingers hurt. Oh, cute boss man, real cute. I got something for that later. Anyway, I'm really waiting on Kofi to just go ahead and Trouble in Paradise, Little Jimmy. He probably should have did it tonight. It would have been funny. I'm serious. It would have been funny because Little Jimmy was in there with him, I'm sure.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
It has to happen.
It'd be smart if it happened, but I don't know if it's gonna happen.
No one ever claimed WWE to be smart.
That's why I don't think it's gonna happen.
Oh, well, okay. Antonio wins by DQ, blah, throw the match out there. Speaking of Antonio Cesaro, hold on a second. Back at Hell in a Cell against Justin Gabriel, a match that was thrown together for TV time. Did anybody catch when Justin flew outside the ring and there was a sick, wicked European uppercut by Antonio Cesaro? It was like he caught him. Right here. Pow! I'm like, oh! Holy crap. Anybody flying that high.
I was looking down at the time and I didn't see it.
No, honey, I saw that. Anybody flying that high should be accompanied by a stewardess and a bag of peanuts. Antonio Cesaro. I don't know the Swiss word for thank you, but you're welcome, bastard.
You said it before,
yeah, thank you. Well, we'll go back and we'll do our research on that. We'll study on that. 3MB, the three-man band comprised of the Wendy's girl Heath Slater, the Bret Michaels lookalike who? Drew McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal versus Santino and Zack Ryder. I'm so glad 3MB actually won this match so we can go home happy. Did anybody catch what Santino was wearing at Hell in a Cell as Lady Goo Goo Gaga wore?
What the fuck?
He wore like her headpiece and a couple of the little tassels. And he also ironically had a tiger shirt on. That was funny.
Dumbass.
I know. But you love me.
He's a good wrestler. It's just gimmick is just like really.
But he's like the modern day Brooklyn Brawler. Oh.
You know what's sad?
Oh my.
You know what he kind of reminds me of?
Who? Go ahead.
Top Gun.
Did you just say Top Gun Tower?
He totally reminds me of him.
For anybody who knows Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, State of California, you all know Top Gun Tower. Damn it!
Damn it!
Him.
Sorry.
Coke snorting. In the ring, of course. Coke snorting.
Clown?
Yeah, that's when wearing his thong on the outside.
I remember that.
That was so not right with a chain on the outside of it. That's just not right. We did not need to see that. I think the week before that show, his blow up dog got blown up. Anyway.
I swear to God, I think Santino was like him.
You're an idiot. AJ Lee versus Beth Phoenix. We have 2 wins in this match. Don't ask me how the hell they pulled this up.
That was so lame.
That was so lame because I'm sorry, AJ Lee, for her to have a schoolgirl roll up on Beth Phoenix, cover her. Yeah, that was a schoolgirl.
I know. I was just like,
what?
That's what I said when I was watching. I was like, what?
Did she actually just beat her Bethy? She did. Then
I love me some AJ, but I'm still like,
what?
Huh?
And then here comes the biggest teeth in the world besides Edge, Vicky Guerrero. Restarts the match. Beth Phoenix wins and subsequently gets fired. For what? I think Vicky is trying to eliminate all of her competition from Dolph. Is all I'm saying. Although I find it stupid. Beth Phoenix wins with a Glam Slam.
She's gonna get rid of all the divas then?
Yeah, since she's the only cow left.
Just get rid of the divas division.
Yay, bring back the women's title. Subsequently gets fired. It will not be the last time you see the Glam Slam. She will be back. I don't doubt she's even fired. Storyline. Bullshit. Sheamus is looking pretty darn good despite losing his title to the Big Slow.
He was all cheery and happy.
And had a pep in his step and a smile on his face.
Huh?
Now that's how you overcome adversity. You lose the title and you still smile. It's okay. Cheese. And hits the white noise on the Big Show for the second time. How in the world do you pick that big man up? Oh, that's right. If he don't want to get picked up, he ain't going. Just ask Andre the Giant.
What did he say? He said something about, oh God, the ginger thing.
Oh, yes. Big Show called him a red ginger snap.
Oh,
And
yeah. Have you ever seen a ginger snap?
And have you ever seen ginger snap is what Sheamus came back with, and white noise was what he was hit with.
I thought that was so awesome. I was
I'm
like,
sorry. Best move of the show. That was it. Now, moving on. Oh, God, for the love of God. Ray and Sin Cara again versus the Rhodes Scholars. And thank God the Rhodes Scholars got the win on this one. Although Sin Cara actually didn't botch it too bad.
No.
Too bad. Now, side note,
I actually thought he would look better than Ray this time.
He might have got caught on this bullshit, is all I'm saying. Side note, the WWE with John Cena in the ring and two other members of the Susan G. Komen Foundation were presented a check of the amazing amount of $1 million for the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer $1 million was presented to the Susan G. Komen Foundation.
Oh my God.
For the fight against breast cancer. This hits home for me. My family members have been battling cancer most of their life. My mom as well. And it was pretty cool to see that happen. And to see all the wrestlers on the stage when the WWE presented this check for $1 million and have Vince McMahon say a few words before this. That really touched my heart. For those who want to support the fight against breast cancer, go to www.shop.com, purchase the gear, Rise Against Cancer, the hat, what are those, the wristbands, and the shirt. It's actually a really good cause, and 100% of your proceeds that are donated to that goes to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. So check it out, www.shop.com @WWE.
And Christmas is coming up, so you can do Christmas too.
That'd be beautiful. Now, next match, Alberto Del Rio versus Justin Gabriel. Justin, I know you're moving up, baby, but damn, ADR, really? Must you just screw up every match you're in? He screwed up the match so bad when he hit him with the hashtag Mexican Arista kick.
He looks so pretty.
Huh? With the kick or Justin falling on his face?
No.
What? It's the truth. Anyway, remember, dear, the next time you kick somebody, make sure they are still able to stand enough so you can properly deliver the arm lock, whatever the hell you want to call it.
See me wrestle better.
Me three. The 2012 Survivor Series teams are for Team Heyman, CM Punk, The Miz, the Rhodes Scholars, and Alberto Del Rio.
Can I do this one?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Foley's team are the following: Kofi, Team Hell No, Randy Orton,
Yay,
and Ryback.
Excuse me, can somebody eliminate Ryback? At least I get Cena. What? I said it.
I thought you didn't like Cena.
I don't like Cena. I hate Ryback more.
Alright.
I'm going for lesser two evils. So there you have it. We have covered a cornucopia of wrestling this past weekend. Honorable mentions go out to Battleground Pro Wrestling for their fantastic show. Pinky's Playhouse 2. The costumes were amazing.
Awesome costumes.
check out our pictures for that. And this has been Chicks on Wrestling episode, Lord knows, whatever. We will check you later. I am Pinky, and you are
Jade.
And we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Welcome everyone to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ, Aaron Rift. We got Hell in the Cell this coming Sunday. But for now, let's get right down to your questions. If WWE was to sign Samoa Joe, do you think they could do a Punk vs. Joe match at WrestleMania? That would give something huge to independent wrestling and its fans, besides Money in the Bank 2011. Well, if Samoa Joe was to ever compete in a match at WrestleMania, it would not happen right away. He would have to establish himself as a WWE superstar. They're not just going to bring him in fresh out of TNA and put him in a match at WrestleMania. He's going to have to work his way up the ladder. So it could be a few years, but perhaps down the line we could see CM Punk versus Samoa Joe in a match at WrestleMania for sure. For show. What do you think was WWE's biggest booking mistake in the last 2 to 3 years? To me, it would be the whole Nexus storyline. When they did that whole angle with all the members coming out and just beating the crap out of John Cena and just destroying everything in sight, they should have done more with that. Now, the issue is that maybe these guys were really green or inexperienced and not ready to be in a main event position. But if that's how you feel about them, why put them in the main event in the first place? If WWE was going to, go with these guys and do this big storyline, they should have gone all the way with it. Those guys should have gone a good 6 months of non-stop wins. They should have won at SummerSlam. They should have been totally dominant. Remember back to the NWO? The NWO got over because those guys came out every single week and just laid waste to everybody. Nobody could take the NWO. Hell, even when it was Hogan and Hall and Nash by themselves, they could take out like the whole roster. It was crazy. The hell? Catfight? Yeah, the NWO, just 3 guys, dominated everybody. It was amazing. And that's why the NWO got over. But, oh my god. Catfight! Holy crap. We have a catfight here on NoDQ&A video. If you want to check out more of them, go to youtube.com/thecatdiaries. I'm losing it here. Okay, anyways, back to the question. Yeah, it was definitely Nexus, I think, that was WWE's biggest mistake. And you could also say the whole CM Punk thing from this year, bringing him back way too soon. and SummerSlam's buy rate was very disappointing, and yeah, it was clear that they should have waited more on CM Punk, but either that or the Nexus storyline. Hey Aaron, do you think Kofi Kingston would work as a heel? Probably not, because it goes against basic psychology. Kofi Kingston is a small guy. He's kind of like the underdog that you want to get behind. It just doesn't work him being a heel. Unless he could cut like this incredible heel promo, it just wouldn't be a good idea at all. What are your thoughts on Umaga? I think it's a shame he didn't get a world title run. I thought he moved very fast for his size and was also a pretty good wrestler. R.I.P. Umaga. Yeah, I liked Umaga a lot. I thought he was a very good performer. He had a really good match with John Cena at a Royal Rumble, and he had some great matches with Jeff Hardy. I think just the problem with him, that ultimately led to his early demise was just the drug issues, and just his personal life was a mess. And they just had to cut him after a while because his issues got too out of control. I'm not sure. I think he was one of those guys that they wanted to go to rehab and he refused. So, as they say, before others can help you, you need to help yourself. And it was just unfortunate because he did have a lot of talent and could have gone really far in WWE. Hey Aaron, love the show. Would you like to see the Ultimate Warrior return to WWE for one final match at WrestleMania? Not sure if that would be the best idea, especially if at his age, I'm not even sure if he can run down to the ring. It's a big stadium. I mean, Warrior's pushing into his 50s now, so yeah, not sure that one would work out too well. How does David Otunga have a job in WWE and Shelton Benjamin doesn't? Jennifer Hudson. Which match would you rather see? Austin versus Punk, Austin versus Orton, or Austin versus Cena? Well, in terms of which match would draw the best and have the most crowd heat, I think you would go with Austin versus Cena. But you got Austin versus Orton, the Viper versus the Rattlesnake. That would be an awesome match right there. And of course, Steve Austin, the beer drinker, versus CM Punk, Mr. Straight Edge. What can you say? That match, either Punk or Orton, those two matches would definitely be better than Austin versus Cena. It's just a matter of what your taste is. If you want a great match, or do you want a so-so match that's going to have epic crowd heat and, be possibly one of the biggest drawing matches of all time. So just take your pick. I remember reading a while back in an interview with Mr. Anderson, and he stated that he hopes he isn't wrestling anymore 5 years from now. When he does decide to retire, do you see him ending his career in TNA or WWE? Retiring in 5 years. That's a good one. That's funny. I would be very surprised if he retires in 5 years. Now, as far as where he ends his career, never say never in terms of returning to WWE. I know he went out on bad terms and had a lot of issues with them, but Hogan had issues with WWE. Flair had issues with WWE. Bret Hart had issues with WWE, and he came back. So it's always a possibility that Anderson could end up back in a WWE ring someday. What would be your dream Money in the Bank ladder match with superstars currently in WWE? Well, of course I'd want to have Evan Bourne in there, Kofi Kingston, John Morrison, Daniel Bryan, and just throw in a couple more high flyers in there, and you're all set to go. And you'll have a great match right there, Money in the Bank. All right, that about does it for NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. As I mentioned before, Hell in the Cell this coming weekend. You can check out coverage at NoDQ.com. Post your predictions at NoDQforums.com. And on that note, we'll see you next time for NoDQ&A video.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello, pals. Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion, Chicago's sweetheart Missa Kate, will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Episode of Stat Boy Rants, and as always, these rants are Stat Boy approved. And the fallout from WrestleMania is behind us. WrestleMania is a week old, you know. People should still be talking about it because, you know, it was the biggest WrestleMania and all that stuff or whatever. But the dads on wrestling, you know, they pretty much summed up how WrestleMania was. Not too happy about it. Some stuff went down that was just crazy, and you know, like the Renegade said, you know, he was busy making our annual WrestleMania snack fest. The microwave hadn't even gone off, and we got a new World Heavyweight Champion. So, and if you remember, they've done that story before with Rey Mysterio and JBL for the IC title. So you see, they're rehashing old stories, you know. The only excuse I could think about why they did that was they wanted to guarantee that Taker and Trips and Rock and Cena had enough time to really make the matches count. You know. But like I say, WrestleMania is over and done with. But now we move on. We got Extreme Rules coming up at the end of April, which really hasn't been extreme for like damn near 6, 7, 8 years because it's so PG, you know. Wrestling hasn't been extreme since the mid-90s. EC dub, EC dub. Oh, too soon? You know. Although the promo was very, I will say it was a good promo. They actually had the rules, you know, like a contract or whatever, and those are legit rules too. So, the main rant is going to be about what happened the next night, Monday Night Raw, Miami, Florida, American Airlines Arena, and of course, all the talent in the back, and Johnny Laurinaitis in a better looking suit than what he wore at WrestleMania, let's face it, because that was the worst, that was one of the god-awfulest suits I've ever seen. You know, I can admit when a suit looks good on a person. You know, the best suit a person can wear is a good old-fashioned black business suit, white shirt, black tie, and polished shoes. That's a good suit. You know, white suits, no. White suits are ugly. Black suits are better. The good guys dress in black, remember that. MIB3 this summer. He says, you know, I'm going to give the power, it's going to be a power struggle or power to the people or whatever, and it's like, really? Well, if you're going to do what the people want, John, then get the hell out of the WWE on-screen talent and sit back in your office in Stamford, Connecticut, on the upper floor of Titan Tower or WWE headquarters or whatever they're calling it, pick up the phone, make your business deals, and put somebody the fans want to see. Okay? If there are fans out there, and if you honestly and truly like John Laurinaitis, I want to read about this in the comment box. I gotta know. And now, I don't want any BS. I want to honestly know why the people, if you're out there, why do you truly like John Laurinaitis? Okay? If I don't hear any comments about it, then it proves that he is a douchebag that nobody likes and nobody can hear anytime because his voice is too quiet. Thank you. Thank you, CM Punk, for pulling your punk card on John Laurinaitis. However, he had to go up against Mark Henry in a match, you know, which kind of sucked because, one, there was no, you know, winning by countout, you know, yeah, you keep the title, but it kind of cheapens the fans. You know, they want to see a pinfall or a submission. They don't want to see a countout because they, you know, unless you legitimately get hurt. But The Rock comes out, starts out the show, you know, boots to asses and all that stuff. And, of course, he says he has goosebumps, you know, and unless you've got an HD TV or you're sitting up really close to the TV, which you shouldn't do because you'll hurt your eyes. You know, I can't see goosebumps. You know, you got to get really. I have to look up goosebumps on Wikipedia and all that stuff, and you know, he praised John Cena, which is good, you know, and. I like the whole the JHC moment, and I understand that, you know, he could say Jesus, he could say H, but he couldn't say Christ. So of course they had to censor that out. And you know, that's you know, so someone yells out Jesus Christ, you know, some people call it the bigwigs call it a racial slur, or not a racial slur, but one of the 7 deadly things you can't say on radio or TV, because, you know, because I took radio classes, you know, and the legal term is, you know, you can't say certain things on television, you can't say on radio, and one being Jesus Christ, you can't say that. Unless it's the way you say it. I mean, you're not going to see a 30-minute television show of a guy saying Jesus Christ over and over and over again. But it's like if you say it in anger, or you say it like a parent does when they get angry, you can't say it like that, you know. But a pastor or a preacher or a minister or a holy person or whatever the proper term is can say it and they won't censor it out, you know. So My only problem with the whole segment was that John Cena was not there. It would have been nice to see the two, squash everything, shake hands, hug, whatever, and walk off. And then Raw kept promoting that Cena's going to call out The Rock. And it's like, as soon as I heard that, it's like, what does he need to call him out for? The match is over. The match is done with. So, Rock also claimed that he is going to be WWE champion at some point. He's turning 40 in next month. May 2nd, 2012 will be his 40th birthday. And, 40 is not old. 40 is, a lot of people say, oh, I'm turning 40, and they think it's the end of the hill. The next thing you know, they're going to start planning their funeral at 40. Triple H is 40. He's past 40. Shawn's past 40. Taker is 47. Cena's still in his 30s. Randy's in his 30s. So, if he can go with the belt, hey, give him another run. Adam Pearce is still doing it. Don't know how old Adam Pearce is, but he's on his one last run, and it's been a good long run for Adam Pearce. So, if Rock can do it, after he gets done promoting G.I. Joe, which comes out in June, give him some time for that. I don't know how much more filming needs to be done. If we're already getting promos for it, then filming is done and he just has to worry about press and whatever other movies he's doing, that's fine. If he comes back like maybe once every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, give him a match every 2 months, give him the belt. If you remember back in the 80s, Hulk Hogan, when he was champion, he would come out and cut promos. He wouldn't have big matches like Punk is doing now, like Cena was doing, like Trips was doing, like Taker was doing. It's like every other week there would be some kind of match, be it a tag match or a title match or a match that if you beat me I'll give you a future title shot. That's what's happening with the wrestlers now because they want to see the champion wrestle. But back then, it's like whenever it was the Big Four or a Saturday night main event or something big, the champ was wrestling. And all the tag team champions, the IC champions, the Euro champions, they would be on the card more than the heavyweight champion. Look it up, it's legit. So if that's what his contract states, that he has like a less of an appearance, hey, work with it. Also on Raw, Lord Tensai made his debut. You would know him as the A-Train or Prince Albert. And when he came out as this big star in Japan, almost like a samurai, not quite, not with all the heavy armor, but with the mask and the sash and all that stuff. And he took off his hood, and that is some really cool tattoos. I saw those and I was like, damn. Now I love tattoos. I can appreciate for it as a tattoo. I will, if I see a tattoo I like, I'm gonna give you your props for it. I'm just not into the whole needle buzzing thing, so I may have to be like seriously wasted to get a tattoo so then I'll forget about it the next day. It's like I'll have to go out and party and drink till I sleep, and then the next thing you know, it's like, hey, what the hell was this? I see people with tattoos at work all the time, and I at least give them 15 seconds out of a 2-minute promo or whatever, or 2-minute interaction, and say, hey, you got some cool tattoos there. So Lord Tensai is back. They did say that he was a former WWE star. They didn't say it by name, but he's back, and he's a monster of a man too. And of course, the second big news, the next big thing is back. Brock Lesnar is back. He has signed a 1-year deal, which means he'll probably leave by WrestleMania 29 if he chooses not to resign. And Cena, of course, was in the ring, just like stating You know, it's like the WWE the universe and the writing team, you know, they're a great writing team and all that, but again, the fans are not stupid. We know what Cena is going to do because we can figure it out. We all have working brains. It's like, you know, oh, Cena lost. Okay? People lose. You know, Ace Ventura said it the best. In every contest, there must be a loser. Okay? Because nobody wants a tie. Especially if you remember baseball back in the world when it was an all-star game and it ended in a tie. The fans were ticked off. Nobody wants a tie. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, whether it's a squash, whether it's a blowout, or whether it's that close of a victory. You know? So it's like, you know, they made it sound like Cena was just going to walk out to the ring without his Cena gear in normal clothes. I mean, we're just talking a simple t-shirt and jeans with his contract in his hand. And he says, well, you know what? I lost at WrestleMania. My life is over. My career is done. Find me a superstar that hasn't won a match yet at WrestleMania and is still in the WWE. Stat Boy Challenge. Wow. I may have started something. And he's happy. It's like I said, like I even said, you know, Shawn Michaels has lost at WrestleMania. He goes for that it move. John Cena lost at WrestleMania. Chris Jericho lost at WrestleMania. The only exception is The Undertaker. You know? The Undertaker hasn't lost at WrestleMania yet, and by my count, there are only 2, maybe 3 people that will either fight him next or will break the streak. The Rock, Cena, or now Brock Lesnar. One of those 3, okay, 4. Let's not forget about Punk. But one of those 4 now will get them, if Taker wants to go, because if he can go, he can go. You know, like I say, he's 47 years old. But also, 20 is a nice round number to end on. You know, it's like 20, you know, a $20 bill, 20 years, 20, 20, 20, 20, twin, twin. Wow. And it's like, but Taker doesn't want to lose at WrestleMania because it's like the sky being blue, it's like water coming out of your faucet, it's like the air you breathe. So Brock comes back, you know, Cena says he's gonna keep moving forward, and he's just gonna wipe the slate clean and move on. You know? The fans want him to go heel. The fans want him to lash out and get mad and to have all the veins pop out of his neck. He's not gonna do it. Get over it. He doesn't. Well, I don't know if he wants to do it or not. I can't tell here nor there if he wants to. But Brock comes out, and of course, like I say, the fans ruined the moment by chanting, "We want Lesnar, we want Lesnar," because the fans knew the day of WrestleMania that he signed a contract, which was a bit of a botch, I think, because it's like, where's the surprise factor? Where's the it factor? You know, if Lesnar would have come out and came back, and then the fans kind of go, you know, what's Lesnar doing back? Get on the internet. Oh, he signed a 1-year contract. Okay. I mean, it's like, you're not going to read the spoilers on the Oscars and find out that, I don't know, this movie's going to win the Best Picture, or, you know, or you know, Tom Cruise is going to do this, or Will Smith is going to do that, you know. You want to have a little bit of a surprise factor. It's like walking up to somebody, oh, we're going to throw you a surprise birthday party on Friday at 6 o'clock. And you walk in at 6 o'clock and everyone's there, surprise, and you're not surprised. You know. Now, if Brock would have come out at WrestleMania, that would have been good, you know, and everything. But so, where's Brock going to go? He's obviously going to do something with Cena because, you know, Cena got big off of Brock's coattails with the F5 and the FU and, you know, me, Brock Lesnar, here comes the pain. God made me strong. Forget to give me brain. You know, They only had their, they had a small feud from what I would have looked up back in, where did I write it? 2003, after WrestleMania 19, going into Backlash. You know, that was it. Cena got the belt, Brock went off and did his thing, Cena blew up to beyond the stratospheres or whatever, and so, you know, where's it going to go? I hope they don't make Brock lose too quickly. Give him some wins. I'd like to see him touch on the MMA career, but that's a Dana thing. Dana White has said that he is very happy for Brock, you know, because Brock did his thing in UFC, you know, and then he got sick, and then he came back, and then he lost, and then he said he's done for good in UFC. So he's got Dana's blessing. I don't know if there's a UFC or a WWE, whatever, you know, but Brock showed that he can do the F5 again. We don't know what kind of shape he's in. We don't know if he has to be well enough to work for WWE. I'm hearing reports that he's got like a 35-week appearance out of 52 weeks. So there'll be some matches involved. There'll be, you know, I don't think it'll be a year-long storyline with Cena. You know, give him a push for the title. And who knows what's going to happen after that. Coming up on SmackDown. Watch SmackDown tonight. We got Del Rio and Sheamus. If Del Rio wins, he gets a future title shot. Like I say, that'll probably happen at Extreme Rules. Or the May pay-per-view, which is going to be... what is the May pay-per-view? Judgment Day or... No, not back... whatever the May pay-per-view is. Moving on into June, July, August. He gets a title shot whenever if he wins. He probably will. Don't know where Teddy Long is going to go. I don't want to see him leave forever. Maybe he'll be like... Just in case John Laurinaitis decides to take a break. You know, maybe Teddy will be the interim manager of SmackDown when Laurinaitis isn't around. Where was Taker at all during Raw? Taker didn't show up. You know, it would have been nice to see something with Taker and Trips. Unless they're hitting up the angle that maybe both are just kind of beat up and they just need time to relax. Shawn was not at Raw because if you follow him on Twitter, at Shawn Michaels, he flew home. He did his job and went home. He's happy on his ranch. He's got work to do down there. So that's pretty much it. We're done for this episode. We had a very busy weekend. We had the Kings game at Staples Center. We had the Angel game at Angel Stadium. We're beat. So, you know. I've been following Pujols on my Boy Rants page too, or on my Facebook page. He's a big name. $250 million. A lot of money. Let's put those comments in, folks. Give me some questions to rant about for future episodes. Follow me on Facebook. Follow my Statboy Rats page. Follow me on Twitter at LBKids or LBStatKid1977. And I will see you next week. Statboy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Stat Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeep's here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lube. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
This is James Morgan, NWA and Mach 1 Wrestling Superstar.
This is Chris Masters, the Masterpiece.
This is Downtown Bruno. This is Eric Watts from WWE Tough Enough.
Mikey Nova.
Hey, what's up? This your boy, Sean Black.
This is Jess Bella from Santino Brothers.
Gorgeous Joey Chaos.
Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, and you are watching Dads on Wrestling.
The Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
On YouTube.
Week on YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Now stay tuned or you will feel the bang!
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Dads on Wrestling. First time the dads had an actual interview, and we have an awesome subject, the lovely and talented, for lack of a better term, Nick Madrid up in Oklahoma. We wanted to bring Nick on after we had champion of Mach 1, Jarrett Matthews, on last episode of After the Bell, because it was supposed to be dads, we had no cameraman, so Jay stepped in, yay Jay. But I'm glad we had you, Nick, as a challenger tonight, or when this goes up. Great match between you two. That's interesting. Morgan had ruined everything. I'm sure you'll get yours in time.
Definitely.
Yes. But I'm glad we have Nick because he's wearing the shirt that I was going to ask the first question about. First time I ever saw you was at PWG. We'll give a little plug to Gorilla, just a little one. And he came up and asked me, I'm going to Landstorm School tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. Do you have any advice for me? What did I say? Do you remember?
I think you just more reassured my decision. You said, if anywhere to go, that was the place to be, and you thought I was doing everything I should be doing at that point.
Yeah. The phrase I remember saying was ears and eyes open, mouth shut.
Do you remember that now?
And he comes back, and now he's main event in Mach 1, and having a great storyline in WWE Hollywood. And every time I see it, I just kind of like my head just gets a little bit bigger. Like, see what I did. But he came back here. What motivated the decision to come back to California after training with Lance and
coming to Mach 1 and going into the other?
Well, Mach 1 just coincidentally is around the corner from where I grew up.
There you go.
But that necessarily wasn't the way it was going to go down. I was living in San Diego. I was there for school. I just graduated college, and I had every intention to move back to San Diego.
Okay.
But, I had a few weeks left in Storms, and I sent an email out to new schools, and Johnny, Mach 1 owner, he replied within probably 2 minutes is maybe a long exaggeration. It was almost instant. And I never heard back from the other places that quickly or at all for some of them.
Wow.
And so I was coming back home, and I started back in April 2010.
Yep.
And so far the rest is, I wouldn't say history, but the rest has been an awesome ride.
Like I said, you're a major storyline with NW Hollywood right now because of the association with Mach 1 and everything. So that's got to be something.
It's just, it's more than I ever would have thought. This quick.
What would you say is the most important thing you learned from Lance Storm?
So many things, but essentially kind of what Jeff said. I mean, it's just that sponge, it's Lance, of course you guys know who Lance Storm is, you know how he is, and that respect for the business, I'd say, is the #1 thing. If you don't have the respect for this business, then everything else is matter. You don't succeed if you don't have that. That's what I'd say is
and that's one thing that I've observed about when people talk about, me and to a lesser extent the guys on the channel now, we have no respect for the business. It's like you have no idea how much we love guys like you and guys that are in the business that, ask us for, help and advice. It's like, us? Really? It's like, wow, thanks. We didn't have done much, but okay.
Well, yeah, people, I mean, I don't know, people watching this might think it's weird, me asking you for advice, whatever it is. But I'm the guy who, anyone that's been somewhere where I haven't been yet, they're in front of me on that. They're the master almost. So if you've been somewhere I want to be, and that's what I said, the whole decision to go to Lance was a guy who's been everywhere I want to be.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer that that's the guy I want to train with. And that's why I asked you that question that night. That's why I asked, Joey Ryan questions. I talked to Johnny Goodtime about questions. I'm always asking questions, trying to learn, to talk to guys, and they can give me that feedback and advice so that I can get to maybe where they are.
Now coming back here, it's like, oh no, I'm gonna talk to him. If there's one thing that you've learned here from Johnny and Joey that you really did pick up in Canada that has helped you out the most, what would you say that would be?
I think definitely it was just pulling together the package of tools that Lance gave me. You go up there, you're 3 months, you're in the ring every day, and when you're done, you're just way ahead of any sort of training there is around here. But I'm still, I have no matches under my belt, and I don't know what to do with these things necessarily. I have an idea of what I want to do, but I have no idea what to do. And coming here with Good Time with Joey Ryan, they got that, they saw where I was, and then they focused on the gaps in my game, and they made me improve, and they took all those things and put them together so it worked as a cohesive unit, and then, that got me my first match, and kept going on and on and on. So I'd say that was the biggest thing. They just helped me bring everything together that I learned in those 3 months, and then every week that I train with them still, it just keeps getting better and better, and they're always helping me get a little bit better every week.
So the play was like, amount of play at the roll that night, Lance kind of shaped it and tweaked a little bit, and then Joey and Good Time kind of perfected it and made it a nice little sculpture.
Yes.
All right.
Much like the scene in the movie Ghost.
Okay, well, I started out with a girly reference, so I guess we'll go with Ghost. That works.
I mean, you did call me lovely.
I did, yeah.
What would you say were the biggest gaps once you got to Joey and Johnny? You said a minute ago that they kind of helped fill in the gaps there from Lance. What would you say were the biggest things? Because, Lance always gets a bunch of crap about his charisma, and obviously you're an overly charismatic individual. Is that one of the things they helped you with?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have Joey Ryan. I mean, that guy, everything. Bleeds, sweats, cries, charisma. Can you cry charisma? I think you can. So definitely one of those, I think that's the biggest thing. From Joey, charisma, that personality. From Good Time, you can do, every match is different with him. He has thousands of moves, and I don't even know how he has enough room in his brain for him.
Yeah,
seriously. But I definitely think that's what it was. It's like, I knew how to do things, but I didn't know how to do them with a purpose. I could give guys suplexes all day, but it doesn't matter. Joey and Joey and Kevin taught me how to use the moves and the skills I was taught to effectively win matches.
There you go. We asked Jarek this last week, and so I assume you've been here for most of the guest seminars and whatnot.
Yes.
Who's your favorite PMN?
Or
even that you may have had back with Lance's. Yeah, it's true. I'm sure you guessed
We had, Raven was up at Storms, not for specifically Storm School, but the local promotion where Lance now is involved with. So,
learning from Raven.
I'm
gonna take a minute on that one. Wow.
The best thing Raven taught me, well, unfortunately, we're all too broke to attend the seminar.
Oh, damn.
We didn't have $45, which I wish I did, honestly. Like, I wanted to so bad, but he was kind enough after the show to tell me to not cut my hair. At this time, I had a good, it's about to the ears, and he said, I said, hi, nice to meet you, and he's like, held me back in when I tried to walk away. He's like, don't ever cut your hair, whatever you do. And I was like, I won't. No, I promise I won't. He's like, no, seriously, don't cut your hair. It's going to look great on TV. And I promised him. I said I wouldn't, and here we are. But that's, that's up there. That was great. Just, that little bit of wisdom. But from here, we've got so many great ones. Adam Pierce is amazing. I think Christopher Daniels, another one. I don't know about that one. Yeah, wow. Christopher Daniels, Funaki, another one.
Jarek mentioned Funaki.
And then Claudio. And I would say definitely, if I had to say, can I get the top three? Sure. Okay, definitely Pierce, because Pierce was early on, and like I said before, he helped me fine-tune those little gaps, more so than I already was. And Pierce was great. That was a great thing for a first-time seminar. And then we had Christopher Daniels, great guy. Amazing. And he just broke it down so simple. He had so many great things to say. And then, of course, went a little bit further in my career. Just a few months ago, we had Claudio. And I was lucky enough to wrestle him in my debut NWA Hollywood.
That's right.
So it was nice because it was like, hey, buddy, we're friends. We've met before. Yeah. And it was amazing what we did in 2 hours. I can hardly tell you everything we did.
Sure.
But it's just that guy is so amazing. He's a really good. I don't think he's underrated in the sense, everyone knows. Everyone that knows about wrestling knows Claudio. They should. You hope so.
And if they don't, Google him.
But he's
seriously.
And hashtag I want wrestling with Claudio, because damn.
Yeah, but he's a great teacher, a great worker. You can't ask for better.
I was gonna say, go ahead, Jay.
Going over to NWA Hollywood, as we already touched on, you got this big angle going on with Chaos and the Disorder. And by my recollection, as of the last TV airing, you've ran through 2 or 3 of their guys?
Yeah, 3 of the guys so far.
Okay, and eventually, obviously, Chaos is your goal. Where do you see things going as you approach Chaos? Like who would you like to build up to before you get to him as far as who is in this disorder? And then where would you like to go post-Chaos?
We've got a few guys in the disorder that I haven't got one-on-one yet. A couple of bigger guys, so far. We have Kyle Webb and Leo Blaze.
See here all the time.
But he's got a couple of giants in that little group. He's got Kiki, got Tito Escondido, and logic tells me those guys are next. Bigger than me, they're probably stronger than me, but it's 3 down, and however many they have to go. I'm not stopping.
Seems like they keep growing each week.
Yeah, I mean, how many? Yeah. And how many guys do they have? I don't care. Just to keep going and eventually meet Chaos. Hopefully, be one-on-one again. And a lot of history behind that.
Where do you want to see yourself post-Chaos? I mean, obviously, Adam and the NWA title is a goal, but even before you get to him, are you envisioning Scorpio Sky in the TV title?
I always say that's a logical progression. Yeah, definitely. I was in that tournament, and some would say that I lost my round because of the Disorder and Chaos. Yeah. And who knows what would have happened? Who knows if it would have been me and Sky, and then who knows if I would have got that title? So I definitely think there's a shot for that belt in my future.
Without going too, I said this last week too, I'm waiting to get going. Without going too much behind the curtain, tell me about, briefly if you can, the whole concept of the angle of Chaos. Because that is just seemed to almost make you on Hollywood. Because you were one of the players and everything on there, and all of a sudden everybody's tuning to see how much they can do to kick the Disorder's ass. How did the attack happen? Everybody went,
Well, it wasn't even that. I mean, it goes further than that. I think he gave me my 3rd match in NWA Hollywood.
Okay.
So we wrestled there, and it was one of my closer matches. I was losing every match, every month on TV. for a little while, and Chaos, I think, was the closest one that I came in and out for that big win versus Pierce. And we had a good match then, and he still beat me. And then, of course, standard happens, they break up, and now we have the story as Chaos followers there. And then, of course, the interference. And so it's just, I'm trying to make my way up in the NWA, and he didn't want to see that happen. So we have some unfinished business there. One by one, I'm going to pick them off until it's just me and him left in that ring. And I'm not going to succeed until he's out of the picture.
Good to me. We're starting to get the wrap up. We're starting to get close to the end of our time here on this episode. Real quickly, my last question is, what would you say is the best match you've had today?
Someone asked me this last week. It was actually Joey asked me this. And, I've had great matches with James Morgan. Definitely. I mean, there's no question about that at all.
A few of those here, those were awesome.
Yeah. And they're not done either. We've still got still got a lot going on with me and James Morgan.
Especially what happens tonight at the show.
Definitely. And I'd say a recent memory, my last match in Mach 1, it was myself versus Ray Rosas. I thought we had a pretty good match together. Found myself with the victory, but it wasn't easy. But I'd like to do it again, and he's great. He's coming up, and he's making waves, and that was really one of my toughest and my most favorite matches today.
I think I missed that one, but I think you and Ray definitely complement each other in the ring.
All right, with that, I want to thank Nick for coming on the show. We appreciate it. Again, I don't know why. I'm such a kid. I'm so proud of how far you've come. It's been a little over a year, right?
I think just about a year and a half.
Year and a half. Yeah. And he's already main event NWA shows and got a great feud. I can't say enough how just awesome it is. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time on Dads on Wrestling.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Welcome, NoDQ Galaxy, and we are back finally with another NoDQ review, and I am Virtue, here being joined by none other than Aaron Rift, TJS, who is not in the bathroom. Wow. Interesting. And of course, here is Stefan, the Wizard of Osborne. Did I get that right?
Just the Wizard of NoDQ. Wizard of Osborne sounds so weird. I'm not against it, but to me it sounds so weird. But yeah.
Well, how's it going? What's up?
It's been a while, guys. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Not bad. Friday. Saturday? Friday? When are you posting this, Aaron?
Hopefully before Saturday, East Coast time.
Nice. Well, TJS, so are you in a new apartment? What's going on?
Man, I'm going heel. I'm refusing to record in the bathroom because the fans are starting to like it. We can't have that. Gotta go heel. So that's what we're doing now.
You gotta sell shirts, though. You got the new Tyler the Toilet t-shirt courtesy of Kayfabe Candy Ass.
Okay, guys, here's the truth. I'm at my girlfriend's, and I'm not in her bathroom. Instead, I'm just recording out here for this week only. So, yeah, still buy the shirts.
Well, shout out, speaking of girlfriend, shout out to Big G because he's sick. He originally called off tonight doing this, being sick. I said I think he's on a date with his girlfriend, but that's just me. So,
okay.
Aaron, how's it going?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to be doing this review. We're coming off Survivor Series. It was a very busy week for me in Los Angeles, and I'm home now, and it's nice to be able to get back to business here, and let's go ahead and get started here.
All right, so thanks for the topics, guys. Stefan, I believe you put a lot of them on there, and of course, I did my little twist on them. First thing I want to talk about, because I don't think we really talked about this, Nia Jax and Becky Lynch. And if we already talked about it, let's bring it back up. So a couple weeks ago, before Survivor Series, actually it wasn't a couple weeks. When was it? The Monday before Survivor Series.
Yeah.
We had a potato. Was it a potato? Was it deliberate? Anyway, Becky got busted open by Nia Jax, and of course the outrage started. Anybody that doesn't wrestle said Nia's unsafe, send her back to NXT. And I'm just so mixed on this because it sucked. We were all ready. We were absolutely all ready for Becky versus Ronda. And, of course, when something like this happens, you go through the concussion protocol, plans change. And we'll talk about how it changed afterwards. But fans just seem like they want to just pick apart Nia. And the thing is, how many injuries, guys, has she been responsible for? I've lost – somebody said 2 or 3. I only remember the Becky one. What else? Who else did Nia hurt?
Didn't she hurt Asuka?
See, and this is where we're going back to. I remember Seth Rollins having a string of bad luck and injuring a lot of people. Is it really their fault? And I believe that if a wrestler is so bad at what they do, WWE, even though she's related to The Rock, would put her back in NXT or pull her off TV. And the fact is, they're running with this. So, TJS, I want to start with you. I personally believe, like any injury, it's a blessing in disguise. Yes, it sucks. We lost that match at Survivor Series. But in the long run, there's more empathy, more sympathy. More people will even be more strongly behind Becky because of this. And unfortunately, people are going to hate Nia for all the wrong reasons, but in wrestling, they can use that as heat. TJS, what's your thoughts on this situation?
Well, I certainly don't think that Nia Jax should be rewarded for doing this, which it seems like that's what's happening. It seems like they're playing up on this, claiming to get heel heat, but, I mean, why wouldn't they just sweep this under the rug and be like, why did they have to show Nia Jax punching Becky? Why couldn't they just say, Becky suffered this injury on Raw, and they didn't have to specify who did it, they didn't have to show the footage in slow motion, they could have just said, Becky's injured, she can't wrestle. Because now, I get that you're getting the heat on Nia, but she's getting rewarded for injuring someone. Like, I don't think that's right. Because, like you said, injuries do happen. But when Seth Rollins ended Sting's career, you didn't have him bragging about it on WWE TV. You didn't have him come out and talk about, I dislocated Finn Balor's shoulder. That's just not something that you do. And Seth was a heel. So you could say that, oh, Seth needed the heel heat. But he didn't go out and get rewarded for injuring people. I don't think it should be publicly acknowledged like this. I think it's a big mistake. Stephen.
No. Finn Balor getting injured definitely helped Seth Rollins. And I think Seth Rollins did mention it. I mean, I think he was a heel at that point. So why not? He didn't mention it with Sting because there was no storyline reason to mention that because Sting wasn't going to go any further past that anyway.
Good point.
Hey, don't forget about Cena's busted nose.
Yeah.
Didn't he play off that?
Yes, he did.
And in this case, it was on television and it got reported before they made a big deal about it. And it helps both causes. It helps Becky Lynch. It helps Nia Jax. And so it's all selective on what they mention and how much and how deep they go into it. They've given her a hashtag facebreaker.
Exactly.
But if you look back, she has been a part of several injuries over the last few years. And I think it stems from the fact that she was in NXT for far too short of a time. They were in a rush to call her up, and she didn't get enough training in just handling the weight difference, I think. And if you look back at the video of her punching Becky Lynch, there was a couple of stiff shots from Becky Lynch when she dove on her in the corner because she had her back to Becky. And I think she turned around with just like, okay, we're throwing stiff punches. And maybe she threw one a little bit too stiff and broke her face. But I can't say they're wrong for using it. I mean, they're using the Roman Reigns leukemia angle.
Right.
Big time.
They're saying that he is going to answer to God because of the Shield.
That's not Roman Reigns' fault, though. This is Nia's fault.
Well,
but how do you know that? Seriously, this is the problem I have. Sorry, Stefan, we'll get right back to. How do you know that? We see video footage. We don't know what Nia and Becky and management discussed backstage of exactly what happened and what their thoughts were. You're acting. See, you don't know that.
But they're playing off it being Nia's fault. Nia's not saying that you did it by accident. She's coming out there saying, this is the hand that broke Becky's face.
But it could have been deliberate. It could have been a potato. We don't know. We really don't know. We see the video footage. It is what it is. Stefan, sorry, back to you.
No, it's okay. There's no way to know if it was deliberately that hard, but you can tell that it was a pretty stiff punch. But whether it was her fault or not, it's still the wrestling business. I mean, you go out there expecting that you could get injured at any time. In this case, she needs coaching on some things that she does in the ring better. But in this case, it was a punch, man, and I think it might have been a little bit deliberate, but I don't think she was meaning to break her face.
Aaron Rift.
Well, there's not much else that we've said that hasn't really been said already, but I will say this. I don't blame WWE for trying to capitalize on the situation. Sometimes shit happens, and regardless of whether it was her fault or if she did it on purpose, it was an accident, could have been any number of things, who knows. But the fact is, it happened, and WWE had to make the best of it, so they changed up plans. They put Charlotte in the match, and turned out to be a great match. Crowd was booing Ronda out of the building. It was nuts. And I figured it would be that bad anyways with Becky in there, but it was still bad with Charlotte. And the crowd hated Nia Jax at Survivor Series. I mean, she got heavily booed, like Roman Reigns level booing for her. But WWE's just trying to take that negative and turn it into a positive, just like the Montreal Screwjob. Bret got screwed. Vince used that to make himself the biggest heel in wrestling. So the idea is, Nia already had the match scheduled with Ronda Rousey at the TLC pay-per-view, so why not try to capitalize on that the best you can and try to turn Nia into this monster heel? The problem that I see with it is that she's doing the punch now and lifting her fist up just like the Big Show. And the Big Show and her already have these comparisons for being the same type of character with the heels and face turns back and forth. So yeah. I don't know how I feel about it, and I think after TLC, Nia will go back to just being another person on the roster. And also,
she gonna cry after she loses.
Yeah, probably. And keep in mind also that Natalia and Ronda Rousey had this little storyline going, and because Jim Neidhart died, that kind of forced WWE to not go with the idea of turning Natalia heel. So they had to come up with something, and basically they went with Nia in Natalia's spot, and things just happen, you know. Nia's in the spot right now, and WWE's already had to change plans with it. So if they punished Nia for that, then it would just create even more chaos than there already is. That's just how I see it, at least.
Yeah, and it ends up giving us Ronda and Charlotte early because Becky got hurt, right? Rumored match for WrestleMania. Now, I remember before Becky was ruled out of Survivor Series, people were actually thinking, wow, could we get Becky and Ronda for WrestleMania? Right. And here we are now after the result that happened at Survivor Series with Charlotte going crazy and using that kendo stick. Now, all of a sudden, I hear a lot of people talking again, well, I think WWE might go back to Ronda and Charlotte WrestleMania. What's everyone's thoughts now with Ronda Charlotte? Now, obviously, this happened early because Becky got injured. But I think this is still a compelling story, and it's cool to see now Charlotte kind of, remember she was getting that kind of Roman Reigns heat because she was against Becky. Now people are kind of cheering her and booing Ronda, which is not so much crazy because Charlotte's a wrestler, Ronda's an outsider, and a lot of fans still, you have to earn those fans' respect that were longtime wrestling fans, not UFC fans. So, Stefan, I'll start with you. What's your take on this Ronda Charlotte situation, and how do you think this is going to evolve to WrestleMania?
I think what happened at the pay-per-view at Survivor Series was the initial plan for Becky. I think they just went with the same call because I don't think Becky was going to lose that match, not with the momentum she's got. The silver lining here is she didn't even have to lose by disqualification. Right. That now goes on Flair. And the fact that the crowd cheered her for doing it is just a happy coincidence, I think. And they're just going with it. And I guess their hope is that they can make Flair into this badass babyface because they can pretend to go with the fans and turn her, quote, heel. But at the same time, the fans are so glad that they finally turned her heel that now they're cheering the heel character.
Right.
And
isn't that funny?
The heel getting over. It's just the crowd's not reacting the way that you would think a crowd should react to a heel character, because they want to cheer for the fact that Charlotte's now a heel, and they're like, "This is the Charlotte wanted."
Right.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, on SmackDown, it didn't even feel like Charlotte was a heel. The Iconics came out and Charlotte beat up both of them, so it feels like Charlotte's just kind of, for now, filling in to Becky's role as like the renegade babyface. And once Becky comes back, we'll have to see what happens with Charlotte. I could see Charlotte perhaps going to Raw at some point, or maybe Becky even goes to Raw. Like, I'm wondering what's going to happen. Like, maybe at the Royal Rumble, we'll see Charlotte face Ronda one more time, and then Becky wins the Royal Rumble perhaps, and then goes on to face Ronda at WrestleMania. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens. But yeah, right now, I'm not even sure if Charlotte is considered a heel. I think she's basically filling into Becky's role. But TJS, any thoughts you have on it?
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it. Charlotte is basically Becky at this point, and it's interesting. I know these social media jabs don't mean much, but Becky has said on Twitter she's been mocking Charlotte a lot. She said that she's waiting for Charlotte to dye her hair orange and call herself the Woman. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Like you said, Charlotte beat up two heels on SmackDown and was getting cheered. And I have a feeling, this is off topic, but if Roman Reigns were to ever turn heel, then he would get the exact reaction that Charlotte has gotten.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. So there's not much to say. I really hope that it's Becky versus Ronda at WrestleMania and not Charlotte versus Ronda, because I think Becky and Ronda should close WrestleMania. I'm just saying that right now.
Right. I agree.
But I bet you 2 months ago, nobody was saying that. Nobody was saying that. Isn't that crazy? And to Becky's credit, she is playing social media perfectly. Conor McGregor, Chris Jericho. If you follow her Twitter, Becky's, she is getting her name out there, and people are interacting with her. Right. And I think that's a big deal, and that might catch management's eye because they like if they see a wrestler getting attention, that wrestler is going to get a push. So Becky is being very, very smart about it. There's a lot of there's a stigma out there on my social feed that I hate Becky. No, I don't. I've been Aaron Rift on videos months ago. I said I like Becky. When are they going to finally do something with her?
Right.
So it's there. It's on NoDQ. So this is interesting. And you know what? Nia, Charlotte, Ronda, and Becky, good for all four of them, because I think they all come out of this in the long run. Clayton, Clayton knows who I'm talking about. Come out better for this accident. That's just my
Absolutely.
opinion.
And the thing is, they all are getting reactions now. The women are actually becoming the focal point of WWE television. You know, years ago, nobody was caring about the women. Now, the women are the talk of WWE. So things have really changed, and they're the ones that are getting the heat now.
They get better reactions in the tag division. Seriously, they really do. Like that's
True. And 205.
Yeah, I mean, years ago we had such great tag teams in the fold, and women were just in bra and panties matches, and now, I mean, I think that they're doing really good. I think Ronda has really helped the division a lot, and turning Becky, it's been really good, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, speaking of heat and women, James Ellsworth. So he sent some nudes, you know, because that's the cool thing to do. Yeah. Well, thanks, Aaron. Allegedly, 2 underage, allegedly females, and of course, this is blown up. He's denied it. His attorneys denied it.
Right.
I just want everybody's take on this. We've talked about this kind of with Paige. If you are in the limelight, so to speak, why? Like, you need to protect yourself and your brand a little bit better. And Ellsworth was in WWE for a couple of years, right? Came back for a short stint. People know who he is, right? Versus when he was just an indie wrestler. So, Steph, and I want to start with you. What's wrong with this dude, if that indeed happened?
Well, I think you're right that they need to protect their brand. They need to protect their face better. But there's a difference between what Ellsworth has been alleged to do and Paige, because what Paige did was absolutely legal. And it just was unfortunate that it got leaked out. In this case, it was not appropriate, not legal, and it should have been exposed if it is in fact correct. That's all I have to say about it. I mean, he's dumb for doing it in the first place, let alone the fact that he's semi-famous.
Yeah.
And at least
now, TJ.
Oh, I was just gonna say, at least he's gotten off of social media now and letting his legal team handle the situation.
Yeah, I mean, TJS, were you out there searching for those nudes? Were you trying to see it? Were you looking for the actual? Because I wasn't.
I actually did receive those nudes from the person that he allegedly sent them to. She was on Snapchat, and she sent the nudes to me, and basically, so look.
Explain yourself, please. We all want to know. This is riveting.
Do we?
So I had to see this to believe it, and I regret seeing it,
Yeah.
but
He just took off. He couldn't take it anymore.
look.
Are you friends with this girl?
No.
Oh, okay.
She was
I don't do Snapchat. I'm sorry. I'm behind the
That-
times.
That's what I have to explain. On Snapchat, you can only view the photos and videos one time. And she had another phone recording this stuff, which means that she either knew that these were videos and pictures, that they were nudes coming from Ellsworth, or she was faking, which it's James Ellsworth in the pictures and the videos. So I have a feeling, now don't quote me, I'm not going on record, but I'm saying maybe she set him up and asked for this stuff, and then was like, oh, he's sending it, so now I'm going to record it, and now I'm going to say that this man sent me nudes so I can get my name out there and be famous.
Yeah,
It's just likely that he sent her one picture, and then that one was gone, and then she's like, hey, get your camera over here, or get your phone over here, and he sends more.
See, that's true too. Good point, Stefan. I don't know. We don't know if he actually did this. Like I said, it looks like him on the video, but
In this digital age, everything's trackable, so just let the judicial system do its thing. We'll see what happens.
That's what they taught us. Like in law enforcement, they just tell us like allegedly. Don't ever go off and say for a fact. So I guess we can just time says about this.
Yeah, and like I said, he's smart about actually just stepping away and letting his legal team handle the situation and not comment any further on it.
Yeah.
He denied it, and we'll see how it plays out. But everything at this point is just speculation, and I really don't have much to add on it. We'll just have to see how things play out with that. I think he's doing the right thing though by keeping quiet now.
Agreed.
All right, guys, let's talk about Enzo Amore. Aaron, you were there.
Yeah.
This is like a roller coaster for me because I wish Jeff Meacham was here, but he's not. I was a fan of the stunt that he pulled. I like Enzo. I liked when he was in WWE. I understand why they let him go.
Right.
He got caught up and kept things from them, and it's a company where their policy is if you have something going on with you legally or semi-legally, let us know. He's since tried to be a rapper. That's a hard game to do.
It is.
So him showing up for his wrestling brand at wrestling to do that, of course, he must now know he's never going to be hired by WWE.
Not necessarily.
No, unless it's a work or a semi-work, and some people were in the know. But nonetheless, I thought it was entertaining. But from what I understand, his concert only drew like 50 people. Ouch. But this is the same guy that on Times Square, who there's hundreds and hundreds of people going up and down. A couple hundred people stopped there and listened to him. Now it's a different situation versus a paid club. So Aaron, what's your thoughts on this Enzo thing? I really wish somebody like indie companies would bring him in, but I have a feeling he's asking for too much money and nobody can afford him. They probably love his attention, but I think his price tag is too high. What's your thoughts?
I mean, it could be. A lot of people might just consider him a joke at this point, and I don't really know if WWE will bring him back or not. I know you're saying it's probably not going to happen, but anything is possible. Never say never. And he is trying to keep his name out there, and he's finding creative ways to keep his name in the headlines. And it was definitely one of the most noteworthy things about Survivor Series, to the point where pretty much everyone was focused on that, and nobody cared about the tag team match and with Drake Maverick pissing himself. I completely just missed that because I was so focused on the Enzo stuff.
Did you actually hear the Enzo chant? Was it starting to echo? Because I couldn't tell on TV.
It was very loud, and there was a huge
that's impressive.
chant. There was a huge chant of "We want Enzo," and then the other people were saying "No, we don't." But it was mostly cheers for him, and it was a pretty big reaction. It got a lot of people talking, and just from what I remember. There's the woman security guard. I believe she was the same one that tried to take down Gronk, I think, at WrestleMania. Do you guys remember that?
I do, vaguely, but I remember now.
Yeah, it was that. I believe it was the same woman. She ran, and she, like, tripped just trying to get to Enzo, and then she, like, pulled him down, and he, like, fell into people. And it was pandemonium a little bit, but Enzo did just leave on his own, and they just, basically forced him out of there, said, you got to go. And that sort of thing. He was standing on his chair, I think, though, so that was definitely something that wasn't going to be tolerated. And we kind of knew it was coming too, because somebody took a screen cap of him during the previous match, and you could see it was him wearing a disguise. Jeff was like, "Is that CM Punk?" And I'm like, "No, that's Enzo." So yeah, Jeff was pretty upset about it, though. I know some wrestlers were pissed. The fact that he would hijack a show. I mean, TJS, what are your thoughts on it? You know what Jeff said on the NoDQ live review of it, but any opinion on that? Like, do you think Enzo should not be doing that? That was just completely out of line, or do you think sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get publicity?
I think that if you buy a ticket to the show, it's fair game, and if you're more entertaining than the acts on the card, if you can get people to pay attention to you, which is what Enzo did, then, I understand that they're going to get him thrown out, but I think everyone is just biased against Enzo. I think that he was fired for no reason because it was turned out that the allegations weren't true. I think that the guy made 205 Live. He put a lot of eyes on it, and I just think that it's unfair that they released him. I think that I don't get it. I know that people are like, oh, he's a little shit or whatever, but it's just annoying to me because the guy was doing well for himself. Cruiserweight champion. I loved it. I love Enzo. He's great. I know he's not the best technical wrestler. He's not Buddy Murphy. He's not Mustafa Ali. But this guy has so much charisma.
Yep.
Even for just hijacking the show, he got people to pay attention to him.
Yep.
He gave me a lot of traffic, for sure.
And TJS, too, with him being the Cruiserweight champion back then and people resenting him and having the belt because he wasn't a wrestler, that could have got somebody over because they would have want, like a Mustafa Ali or Cedric Alexander to beat him for the title. We don't want it on Enzo anymore. They just don't do that properly anymore. We've talked about that with Brock. They just don't build the next star anymore like they used to.
it was such a great angle with him. I didn't think he was going to beat Neville. And when he did, he cheated. He had to cheat to win. I thought that was just so awesome because he was so physically outmatched. And he just used old school heel tactics. It was awesome. Anyway, I hope Enzo comes back to WWE because he's just awesome. I love, and it sucks about his concerts, but I think that it wasn't advertised enough. I think that he really wasn't able to get the word out as much as he probably should have. I get that you can tweet about it and whatever, but isn't it? Where was that at?
It was in West Hollywood. So here's the thing about that. So I really wanted to go to it, right? Because I wanted to see what Enzo was up to and check it out. Problem for me, and this is just me being the old fart, it started at 10 o'clock Pacific time, which is 2 hours after Raw ends. I really don't want to be driving out to West Hollywood at 10 o'clock on a Monday night to go see a rap concert. I don't care if it's Enzo. I don't care if it's Eminem. Yeah. Well, maybe if it was Eminem, I would do it. But Enzo, no.
I think that's something that we have to take into account here, the time period. Like, if this was on a weekend maybe at, noon or something.
And he was headlining. He shouldn't be headlining in a game he's new at. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I think he would have been better off doing it closer to Staples Center earlier in the day before Survivor Series. I think that would have been better.
Yeah. I wonder why he didn't wait until the Cruiserweight title match before he tried to hijack the show.
From my understanding, people were already figuring out he was there, and I think maybe he knew he had to do something sooner or else his cover would be blown. I mean, maybe he was planning to wait until the Cruiserweight match, or maybe he was going to wait until later in the show. Who knows?
So you think they would have thrown him out for just sitting there? Do you really think WWE would?
Somebody might have said something. I mean, yeah, once he got up and did it, then, people were going to take action.
I mean, if he buys a ticket, come on. Why can't... why did he even have to come in a disguise? Why couldn't he just sit there and watch the damn show?
He would have been mobbed by fans. That's the thing, and people would have caught on that he was there.
Maybe I love the meme out there where he looks like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite when he was dressed up in that gimmick. That was awesome. So Stefan, what's your thoughts on Enzo? You never did really tell me when we were in Chicago.
Well, okay, so what you have to understand about the WWE or Titan Enterprises or whatever, they have HR just like every other company. And what we see of Enzo out in the ring or in the public eye is not the be-all, end-all of his record at work. And we don't know why HR felt the need to let him go, but they did. It wasn't because of the allegations, because they weren't proven yet. In fact, they got dropped. It was because he didn't let anybody know that, hey, I've been accused of this. And then you add on top of that everything else that has been alleged to go on with Enzo and Big Cass.
Right.
I mean, Big Cass was let go for, his attitude.
Yeah. Oh, so real quick, Stefan, I did want to add that according to Enzo, he did not know about the allegations until the last minute. So it's not like he could have told them. That's from his side, at least, that he didn't know.
I don't think that's how the police work. I don't think they know way ahead of time, and then they don't tell you. If they can tell you, they come find you and tell you.
Right.
I don't see why they would wait to come and arrest him. If the allegations were made, they were made.
Well, yeah, you have to be notified if you're being investigated. So, and I don't know. It's just.
And as far as what he did, I think it was either way too early or way too late. He came back into the public eye way too soon with his rap gimmick. And I call it a gimmick because he's not that good at it. I mean, he's better than I would be, but he's not good enough to headline a show, let alone expect to fill 5,000 seats at a show. I just think his timing with everything that he has done after this or after being accused, his timing has been off for all of this. This was not for you to do it at. Either he should have given it more time and maybe the simmer of people that remember him and how good he was on the mic. Because I saw a video of him doing his entrance gimmick, his promo, whatever. And there weren't a whole lot of people that were into it. Even the people that were right around him. They should have been like, oh my God, there's Enzo, whatever. It wasn't over at all.
Where did you see this at?
It was on my news feed on Facebook. It was a close-up. I mean, somebody was 3 people away from him. And he stood up in his chair, and he did his, I'm the certified G, and you can't teach that.
Oh, you're talking about from Survivor Series.
Oh yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
And then he gets snatched out of his seat, and they pull into some people, and then he gets carried away. He pretty much knew he was going to get let out.
But Aaron, you said you heard it echoing.
Yeah, it was loud. Once people realized he was there, they were cheering. And when they realized he was being kicked out, the place erupted in boos. I mean, you guys can see the video. I did post it.
He's polarizing, guys, and we know in wrestling it works. It just sucks that he's not working for a company right now.
Didn't they also chant "Let him stay"? Wasn't that also another one? They were chanting.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, exactly. They were definitely for the most part cheering him, but there were some people that don't like the guy, and Jeff was obviously pissed off. But Jeff is funny. Too bad he's not here, like you said, Virtue.
I know, man.
Jeff is really critical, saying it's disrespectful to the wrestlers and whatnot. However, here, let me say this. Here's the thing, and I should be saying this when Jeff's here, but he's not here, so whatever. I'm sure Jeff will have a rebuttal or whatever. Jeff loved XPW, right? Extreme Pro Wrestling, ran by Rob Black, for those of you that don't know, the old ECW knockoff that was funded by Rob Black and the porn money. But anyways, XPW, what did they do? They invaded ECW. That I believe it was the Heatwave pay-per-view in 2000. The XPW guys actually showed up in the crowd, and there was an actual fight. How was Jeff reacting to this? He went to XPW shows afterwards. So
it wasn't a story.
Benedict.
Yeah,
Arnold.
exactly. Just saying, Jeff. I forgot to bring that up when we did the live video, but that's a perfect example. He was a big mark for XPW, and he still supported them after they hijacked the show and so-called disrespected the wrestlers. Now, granted, that was 18 years ago, and opinions can change, but still.
One more thing, guys, about Enzo. I forgot to say, he actually just dropped a new album, like yesterday or today, and he's rebranded. He's no longer known as Real One, which was his rapper name before. Now he's just known as Enzo without the E. So
like the NWO logo.
Yeah.
NZO.
NZO. Yeah, I wonder how long that'll last before.
Well, I always thought he could be a good manager. I mean, at least we got Leo Rush with Lashley, right?
Aaron except he's not even getting to cut promos anymore. He did nothing at Survivor Series, and I don't even think he did anything at Raw.
No,
well, because this happened during this match, it leads me to think, guys like Enzo get fired for, okay, we get it. The entertaining guys, I know not to everybody, but a lot of fans thought he was entertaining. They liked the whole Enzo and Big Cass gimmick in NXT, and maybe those guys were too over before they ever tasted real success, and maybe that's why their egos, that's why they're not with WWE anymore. But what does WWE give us? We get a gimmick called AOPP because they had Drake Maverick do the whole urine gimmick because he was afraid of the Big Show, and then for the next 24 hours we get urine jokes. Like, this is, I'm bringing this up because this is WWE creative today, right? Back in the Attitude Era, we got Austin, we got Rock, we got the Corporation, Shane McMahon, Screwjobs, this and that. And I know some of that was over the top, maybe too much. But Aaron, were you not hooked from week to week television?
Absolutely, I sure was.
Even past the Attitude Era, right? The Paul Heyman SmackDowner. Yeah. I mean, didn't it? And today, look at our creative. So, Steph and I will start with you. What do you think of stuff like this? And then all of a sudden now, does it make AOP a joke because of AOPP?
You got piss your pants jokes back in the Attitude Era too. I mean, the famous one, Austin with the gun that said bang. And
that was Vince, though.
At least that was edgy, though. That had the gun.
Right. Well, that's true.
It's been used. It wasn't used properly this time because nobody believes that Drake Maverick is a character that would surprise you that they would pee themselves from being scared. Like, it's not that surprising. I don't think he's been built as kind of a joke, and this is just furthering him being a joke. And the segment on Raw in the back was just awful to watch. It was.
Yeah.
I worry about AOP, and sure enough, they got beat. And there's a reason to worry about AOP. So you think finally they're going to give them the tag titles? They're going to try and redeem both AOP and the tag titles at the same time, and this is what they give us. They make a joke out of both, and I'm not a fan.
Right. I agree 100%. Basically, what they're doing is they're turning AOP into a comedy act when they're supposed to be taken seriously as these monster heels that destroy everybody. They were damaged weeks ago when they were just getting beat up by the Shield in a random segment where they were just one of like 10 guys. That was really the beginning of the end for them. But now they're the tag team champions, yet this whole thing, the AOPP, yeah, it's pretty lame. It's one thing when like William Regal is doing comedy with Chris Jericho, and that's funny and whatnot, but AOP shouldn't be doing comedy. TJS, your thoughts on it?
Why is this a thing? I don't get it. When this whole Enzo debacle went down, you had Drake Maverick be specially assigned to the 205 Live brand by Daniel Bryan because he said, I want you to restore prestige to this brand. And that's what he did. Drake Maverick was pretty much the on-screen Triple H. He was the authority figure while Triple H pulled the strings behind the curtains. And the show has been damn good. And now, what are we doing? We have this man pissing himself on television. Why? What? I just imagine Vince is in the back just laughing his ass off at this. He's like, have him piss his pants.
Too bad you're not in your bathroom. You could hit the toilet.
But the thing is, Vince did it already, and Vince always does something. He's never gonna not do something that he
potty humor, Aaron. He loves it.
Why? Look, I love South Park, but at least it's creative. Like, we are seriously getting this man pissing himself, and he has two badasses that are supposed to.
That's what saved them from losing the match.
Okay, so the only way this is redeemable is if AOP kills everyone on the roster now because they made fun of their manager. But that's not going to happen. Do you remember when they tried to cut promos? Oh my god.
Oh, that was terrible. Yeah, that was not good.
These are two. If you saw these guys on the street and their gear or whatever, they look like total badasses. And then you realize that their manager is like a pissing leprechaun. It's gotten out of hand. And then the backstage segment with the catering, you have the jobbers there. I don't want to talk about the Raw Tag Division because the Revival should have been tag champion a year ago.
Well, they're done for too.
Hey, Enzo's looking for work. Anyway.
Oh my god, this is just awful, man.
All right, well, we're not going to talk about this forever. So let's take a break from WWE for one segment at least. Stefan, you brought this up, so I'm going to start with you. I vaguely have been finally seeing information about this. Jim Ross, Chris Jericho, and I believe funded by the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know his name. My apologies. AEW, All Elite Wrestling. And Aaron and I have both said no one will ever compete with WWE until like a Ted Turner, a billionaire, has a bunch of money, and that took a long time for WCW to get there.
Did.
So this is just interesting. Jericho's always been a WWE lifer since he went there in '99, and now it seems like he's kind of detached himself from WWE, takes shots at him. He's all about his own thing, doing New Japan, and now him and Jim Ross. And from what I understand, Aaron, Jim Ross and WWE didn't part ways too well back then. So what do you think their end game is? Stefan, I want to start with you. You brought this up. Do you know any more about this promotion?
Well, this guy, the partial owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, he is a multi-billion-dollar, like in the double digits, billions of dollars. Like, he is a Ted Turner kind of guy. And if you have the guys that can put on their very first show and it sells out 10,000 plus seats, these guys can take a billionaire and make him money if he's willing to invest.
Right.
And if they've got a guy that's willing to invest now, there were several trademarks applied for by this company. And I believe the trademarks were addressed to the field house of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, this guy is trademarking the company name. He's trademarking a Tuesday night show.
Right.
And I'm interested.
The big thing about this is it's not going to work if they don't have television.
Right, exactly.
They don't have a way for people to watch this. And if they're already trying to trademark a Tuesday night show, like this literally says Tuesday in the trademark, it seems like they might have TV already.
Right.
If they've got $1 billion backer, they've got a TV slot, and they have an audience that can fill 15,000 seats, then this might work.
And Jim Ross is very good with talent. I don't know what his role would be with this.
Right.
But, I mean, let's face it, Jim Ross is awesome at recognizing talent.
Right. Well, let's keep in mind that JR and Jericho have denied that they're actually involved in this, so who knows how accurate that is. They very well could be, but they have downplayed their involvement in it. But obviously, all Elite Wrestling would indicate that Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and Cody, all of them are somehow involved in this. And coming off the success of All In, that maybe there's some interest in terms of actually trying to get something going on a full-time basis. Now, will they be able to keep that momentum going? That's the big question. Can they fill 10,000 people in a building on a consistent basis? That is untested. That's a big question mark. Apparently, they are looking at doing an All-In 2, maybe sometime in the spring. I heard one rumor about Las Vegas as a potential venue for that, and they could always run California. They could go back to Chicago. But there's definitely interest from the fans. There's interest from the talents that perhaps are sick of WWE and want another place to work for. So we'll see. I mean, it's definitely great for the business if this happens. We definitely need some competition, but it is going to be an uphill battle, like you said, Virtue. It took WCW many years before they could actually be competitive. And TNA never really got that close. They did get about 2 million viewers when they went on Monday nights for the first time, but that quickly fizzled out. So we'll see. Time will tell. They definitely have some momentum right now, and at some point somebody's got to try to take a chance and see if you can tap into that marketplace that WWE has dominated for so long. But TJS, any other thoughts you have on it?
Well, All In didn't do all that well as far as TV buys did it.
I think it did like 20,000 pay-per-view buys, which isn't a really big number, but
so I don't think that they'd be able to consistently sell out venues because you have to have big stars to do this. And I get Kenny Omega, Jericho, they're big stars and everything, but you have to have a big pool of talent so you can put on new matches instead of just doing the same ones.
CM Punk's return to wrestling? No.
Right, you need...
it would take something like that.
Yeah, you need a big mainstream star. I mean, it's for a very specific audience, a niche audience, and they need...
All In with the money that they had from selling T-shirts at Hot Topic. That's what they were able to pull off with their funds, with their wallet. Now they have a wallet of a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
But
you build a performance center in Jacksonville, Florida. You treat it like NXT. That's where you do your weekly shows. And then 4 times a year, every 3 months, you take a pay-per-view show on the road. You sell out a 15,000 seat venue, and you make a lot of money. But you have a billionaire in your pocketbook to provide you with the money to get the stars that you need to get people watching your television product.
But who are those stars? That's the thing.
Whoever you can afford, and apparently they can afford probably whoever they want.
Well, here's the thing, too. It's if they want to get to the next level, I mean, maybe they're just going to do a smaller scale thing, but if they want to get to the next level, not only do they need the talented guys that can go, they also need to be able to make their own stars and also bring in name guys. Like if they could get a Batista, that would be quite significant for them. But they need
probably get Nakamura and AJ.
Yeah, they need those guys, but at the same time they also need to build their own stars. So it's a combination of both. Can they do what WCW did and bring in some big talent, but at the same time use that big talent to create their own stars and provide a real alternative to WWE? That's the big question.
Bischoff had that in the palm of his hand, Aaron. He built WCW to be better than WWE. He had the young stars, and they didn't push those young stars. And what crumbled? You know what I mean?
Right.
It was so close. God, could you imagine if they would? Now, granted, we had the AOL Time Warner merger that screwed things up back then too. But could you imagine if we still had competition? How much better the TV would be?
It would be very different than what it is now, I think.
All right, well, we're going to jump back to WWE. So you guys brought this up in the chat, the Randy and Ray match and potential feud. I thought it was very interesting. Obviously, since Randy's been back, he's been methodically taking people out or just being the old school Randy Orton that I don't know if we used to love it or not, but it was always compelling. You know, I liked Randy being that evil Viper type guy. And I thought that was cool, by the way. Ray doing his gimmick, sliding under the rope into the RKO.
Yep.
I was like, whoa. You know, because you kind of expect RKOs, right? Because you know Randy's going to do one out of nowhere. And then he finds a way to do one you didn't expect.
Right.
So what's your thoughts on this? And could this be the most compelling thing on SmackDown right now, coming off a Survivor Series where they lost everything but the kickoff match? Aaron, I'll start with you.
I thought it was a really great way to end SmackDown. Definitely one of the highlights of that show. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio. I feel like Mysterio is probably going to be feuding with Nakamura for the U.S. title. I know they're doing a segment for Starrcade this weekend. They're doing Miz TV with Rey Mysterio and Shinsuke Nakamura. So I feel like that's going to be the direction, although based off of television, you would think Rey's going to want revenge on Orton for everything that happened and Orton grabbing the mask and whatnot. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I just hope that something can happen with the U.S. title. I feel like right now it's going nowhere, and maybe if Rey Mysterio gets the title, it can be elevated once again, and we can actually have a reason to care about it. It feels like Nakamura as champion is doing absolutely nothing, and of course he lost to Seth Rollins and wasn't even on SmackDown again, I don't think. TJS, your thoughts on what should be happening here with Rey Mysterio? What would you do with him if it was your call?
Hey, TJS, before you start, and call me, this is where I get the thumbs down. Could you imagine this becoming a feud? If we wrote creative, Randy and Rey, and one of them was the WWE champion right now, not Daniel Bryan, that would all, you know what I mean? They did the whole mask thing, Aaron. How could they just make this go under the rug now? Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Well, on 205 Live, that's exactly what they do. Is TJP's gimmick is that he takes the mask from the Lucha House Party. He's gotten like all three of their masks at this point, and now I guess they're just copying that. So now Randy Orton is
copy and paste.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Randy Orton needs to just drop the RKO because I get that it's a big part. He's a heel. We don't want to see his finisher. We want to not like him. We want to like. I love the RKO, and that's a problem. I thought the sliding RKO was awesome. That's a problem. He's a heel. I don't want to like him.
Good point.
But to be fair, I think Randy's matches are boring anyway, unless they're like no DQ. But I just get bored with his matches. I love his promos are okay, and I love his heel like beatdowns and whatever, and I love the screwdriver in the ear thing. He's good at what he does, but he has such a slow pace, which I guess is part of the heel gimmick.
Yeah, it is.
It's what us old school wrestling fans enjoy. The new school, obviously, it's too slow and boring. I get it.
Now, see, I like Orton's style. I think he does a great job as a heel, and I think he's better off as a heel than a face. I think.
Oh, definitely. I hated babyface Randy Orton.
No, I agree. It didn't feel very authentic at all. I think he enjoys it a lot more, and you could tell in his work that he's way more into being a heel than a face. But TJS, thank you for that. Stefan, any thoughts on Orton and Mysterio and possible storyline scenarios moving forward?
Well, this is definitely the best version of Randy Orton.
Yes.
And he's tapping into something in this character that I haven't seen since him versus Triple H. Back when he had Triple H handcuffed to the ring and he was making out with Stephanie McMahon, you know. That was a brutal Randy Orton. But we have seen all of this before. There were only two things in this match that entertained me at all. First of all, him ripping the mask. Because it wasn't just him taking it off. He ripped it.
Right.
And he almost exposed enough of his face that he might as well have taken it off. And then the slide into the RKO. Not so much for the RKO, although it is nice to see an RKO out of nowhere onto something new, something different. You know, everybody loves the one where Evan Bourne came off with the shooting star press and the RKO.
Yeah. WrestleMania 31.
That versus Shelton Benjamin springboarding off the ropes into the super kick, into the Sweet Chin music, is probably like the two biggest battles for highlight reel spots and intros. But those were the only two things I liked. And the only reason I liked the slide into the RKO was because the slide into the splash is something new out of Rey Mysterio. Other than that, it's the same Mysterio that we saw before he left. Like, there's nothing new here. And this match, there's a reason that it hasn't happened in over a decade. And they kept spouting it on the announcer's table. Like, oh, wow, we haven't seen this in, 12, 14 years, something like that. Well, gee, that's because we saw it all back then. We don't need to see this match again. We need to see Orton putting over somebody new. We need to see Rey Mysterio putting over somebody new. Going back to Aaron's point, about, how a company can fail and succeed. They're not succeeding with this because this is not an interesting storyline for me, other than the fact that he ripped the mask. The fact that he took it off, and the fact that I guess they're doing that in 205 Live, it's not ripping off 205 Live, because removing a mask is something that happens, throughout storylines in wrestling over decades.
Right.
But it's supposed to mean more, because the mask is supposed to mean something. It's not just supposed to be, fodder for the end of a match to make Randy Orton look sadistic.
Well, that's been Randy Orton's thing. He's been talking about how he's going to remove the identity of everyone. Remember, he washed off Jeff Hardy's face paint.
Right.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I like how he tore it, but I'm not.
Oh,
I'm just
and
saying
the fingers of Ty Dillinger too. Don't forget.
Yes. No more 10.
It's been consistent, at least, with that gimmick for Orton. So, yeah, maybe this won't just be a feud versus somebody. Maybe it's Orton just systematically taking everyone's gimmick,
I just hope they leave this here, or if it goes on at all, one more match where Rey Mysterio gets his comeuppance and then leave it alone, because we don't need to see them versus each other anymore. They need to be putting over new talent, and because they don't have very many more years left. You can't leave them on the top until they're too old to go, and then now you have nobody to put on the top.
Right.
So
I think that's a lot of Vince McMahon's doing, though. Maybe one day when Triple H and Stephanie have more of the final say-so, you will see the younger NXT-type talent getting more pushed. But let's go to the main event. And speaking of main event, Aaron Rift, when AJ Styles was the WWE champion, was he really ever in the main event?
Nope.
As soon as he loses it to Daniel Bryan, who's in the main event at the next pay-per-view?
Yep.
Daniel Bryan. So we're going to go around the horn. Daniel Bryan turned heel leading into Survivor Series. Obviously, was this to shake things up because Becky got hurt, and who knows? Now, AJ's kind of been gone, Aaron. Is he going through contract negotiations right now, just on arrest? I don't know the exact details.
Well, his contract's apparently up in the spring. However, I feel like maybe he got burned out a little bit, and he's taking some time off and spending the holidays with his family. But he is scheduled for TLC, and I expect him to be back in the mix. And I think that if it wasn't for the Becky thing, he probably would have stayed WWE champion until CM Punk's title reign was ended by AJ Styles. I don't know if he's going to be back
Kyle.
Yeah, well, I think Kyle would have been right if Becky didn't get hurt. But yeah, anyways, I see AJ Styles still being in the big picture in WWE, and I think they'll keep him around. Especially with going back to earlier with the AEW talk, I don't think WWE is going to let him go. He would be a hot name for them to help get them off the ground. So I don't think AJ Styles is going anywhere. He's one of the highest paid guys in the company already. So I suspect he's going to be making even more money, probably a lighter schedule. And yeah, I don't see him going anywhere. Will he be WWE champion again? I don't know about that anytime in the near future, but I could definitely see him having another reign or two over the next couple of years. So yeah, I think AJ Styles is going to keep being a big player in WWE, and we'll see what happens. I'm really curious to see what happens for WrestleMania now, because my feeling before was that they were going to do AJ versus Bryan at WrestleMania. But now what do? Do you have The Miz go babyface and face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania? Do you do a match at TLC and then do you do another match at WrestleMania? I mean, I don't know where things are going to go for AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, their match. What's it going to be? Stefan, do you have any thoughts on it, like potential WrestleMania directions for these guys now?
The only match I want to see out of Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania is versus The Miz and for the WWE Championship.
I like that, Stefan. I agree with you with
Miz
that.
babyface turn?
Direction I want to see them hit, and how they get there. As long as they get there, I don't give a dang about.
So Miz face turn then?
I think at this point, because it's been 3 or 4 years since they've tried a Miz face turn.
Yeah, it didn't work so well last time.
He has gotten better. He gets better every year,
right?
Especially on the mic.
Do you think they're past that though, with the quick win that Daniel Bryan had on Miz at Super Showdown? You think they're past that
past it for now, but you can bring it back around. Have Miz and Asuka win the mixed match challenge, and then he gets number 30 in the Rumble. He wins, and he goes on to face Daniel Bryan.
Now, see, I wouldn't do it that way. If I was booking Miz as a babyface, especially, I'd have him go in as number one and win the whole thing, and then just shock the world. That's what I would do.
That would help. That would definitely, yeah.
They put the stipulation on the mixed match challenge this year that the winner gets number 30 spot in both of the rumbles. Why?
I don't know.
You know,
why not do that at Survivor Series? That's my whole rant about Survivor Series, that there was nothing on the line on that pay-per-view.
Everybody's rant, but
I just hope they give the winner of the Rumble some respect next year.
I hope so. Like, if it's a repeat of, Nakamura and Asuka, that was a great moment from last year's Rumble. That was a really memorable Rumble pay-per-view. However, the aftermath of it was pretty lackluster to the point where, it watered down those victories, I thought. But TJS, your thoughts on all this stuff with AJ Styles and the WrestleMania direction?
What was the main event of last year's Survivor Series? Was it
the Survivor Series match?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Kurt Angle and the Shield.
Okay. Okay. So I think the Miz babyface turn is happening because there was a dark match on SmackDown, and it was Daniel Bryan versus Miz, and Daniel Bryan used a low blow and got himself DQ'd in this match. I think
apparently the Miz cut a promo afterwards, a straight babyface promo.
Yeah, see, so I think, and the whole thing with Shane, that's not heel, and he's been cheering Shane on and everything, and you could say that he's going to turn on Shane, or this is going to lead to a match with him, and you even had Miz acknowledge the Miz is awesome chant this week on Miz TV. He said it's good to be home. He didn't insult the crowd, so I think that we might be getting babyface Miz. It's interesting, and I would love to see Miz versus Bryan at WrestleMania. Because I don't think Miz and Bryan can have the same alignment. I don't think you could have face Miz and face Bryan, or heel Miz.
I agree.
So, because then you have Miz doing Daniel Bryan's moves.
Right. They're meant to be enemies, them being allies. Yeah, it doesn't really seem to work that well.
So, and I also love Daniel Bryan's promo on SmackDown. He had like the wild man hair. He just looked crazy.
Yeah.
He's speaking in third person. He's basically woken Matt Hardy at this point, it seems. But I really like it. I like the vicious Daniel Bryan, and I love that they played up on the loss. He said that Brock was beating the weakness out of him.
Yep.
That's good storytelling.
I agree.
Because Daniel left with a big smile on his face. That's just awesome.
I think Daniel Bryan was talking from the perspective of Daniel Bryan's dream. He was Daniel Bryan's dreams, talking about the old Daniel Bryan and the new Daniel Bryan. So maybe next week we'll see him show up as the new Daniel Bryan with new music.
Yeah, I love it. It's so creative. Instead of just having Daniel Bryan come out there and be like, "You people betrayed me, blah, 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 blah. I knew that I would never win. You guys don't support me, blah, 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 blah." So it's creative because they even played up on the injury where he retired and he's in the hyperbaric chamber. It's just great, great storytelling. I love it.
So the rumored main event for WrestleMania, if they get there, Seth Rollins challenging Brock Lesnar. Think about this. WrestleMania 31, it was Roman versus Brock. Who cashed in?
Yeah.
Aaron, you were there. Seth won, and Roman's out with leukemia. Just tell me that wouldn't be a good story, fighting that one for his brother who won't be able to be there.
Right.
And the crowd would be behind Seth because of being sick of Brock. To me, that would be a great main event, and I really didn't think of it until I started seeing the rumors. Any thoughts on, I'm already excited for that. Watch, it won't happen now.
Well, yeah,
Any
they
thoughts
had that
on that
one
potential?
match. They had that one match at one of the pay-per-views, maybe Battleground, or I'm not even sure which one it was. I'm sure Greg Cherry would know. Was it Battleground?
I believe so, and that's the match that Undertaker interfered in.
Right, yeah, it was whatever the pay-per-view was before that SummerSlam. So they really have unfinished business, and every time that they have been in the ring, it's been really good stuff. Like, I think of that triple threat match with John Cena. That was a great match, and the Battleground match was great too until they did the lame Undertaker finish. But yeah, I think that would be a really solid WrestleMania main event, and Rollins is red hot right now, red hot Rollins. So yeah, I say go for it, and if anybody's going to run Brock Lesnar out of WWE, let it be Rollins. I mean, some people were arguing McIntyre, and I think that would be pretty cool, but I sense like the momentum's really with Rollins right now as a babyface, and you just have that dynamic where the crowd hates Lesnar so much, except for when well, no, they did hate him at Survivor Series, which was really weird. How the crowd just went from wanting to see Lesnar beat up Bryan, and then people started getting sick of all the suplexes, and people were chanting same old shit, and then all of a sudden, yeah. I don't remember the last time I've been to a show where the crowd flipped like that. They were like behind Lesnar firmly in the beginning, and then they shit on him like halfway into the match and started cheering for Bryan like crazy. When Bryan got that yes lock on, like the whole place was shaking. Like they wanted to see a title change so badly. So I was blown away by how the crowd just completely
Well,
did
but
a
even though the
180.
title wasn't on the line, in their mind, maybe they thought it was. I mean, yeah, when you're in the heat of the moment.
Brock Lesnar never taps.
Right.
Could you imagine a crowd like a Chicago crowd or something like that if John Cena ever tapped out?
Right.
John Cena never taps.
That would have been a WrestleMania moment right
If
there.
Brock tapped out in LA, that roof would have blown off. The crowd was so badly wanting to see that.
As far as Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, I don't care who it is. I don't want to see that match because in order for that to happen, Brock Lesnar has to hold the Universal Championship until WrestleMania.
It just happened.
And
Who's he going to lose it to and when?
Braun Strowman at Royal Rumble. Just give it to Braun Strowman and be done with it. Let Brock Lesnar go to the UFC and be off of our TV and not holding the Universal title hostage while we have to go through a pay-per-view with no Universal title on it.
You know what's funny? I think I'm actually going to predict whatever his match is for WrestleMania. I'm just calling it now. I'm going to say Brock wins. Because WWE just keeps...
Aaron, you might have to. I'm thinking the same way you are, even though I'd want the other guy to win.
I'm going to do the reverse psychology. I'm just going to start predicting Brock Lesnar from now on. I think I'm going to do it for WrestleMania again, just because it's just so ridiculous now.
That's what I did at last year's WrestleMania. I was like, I think me and Virtue were the only two that... No, Virtue, of course, called Roman Reigns. It was me and somebody else called Brock Lesnar, and that was it. And Brock Lesnar won.
Well, that's all. That's all I got. Anybody got any other hot takes this week, or you want to call the show?
Seth is the best wrestler in the company. He needs to take the title from Brock because Braun has already lost, so Braun's not credible enough to do it at this point. So Seth has never really lost. So
well, how about this?
To win it and to win that title out of tribute to Roman being out sick. I just like that.
Right.
Believe it or not, people that hate Roman Reigns, before he announced his leukemia, he had a pretty good following. He has. I was at Mania. I saw his line, right? There are people that like Roman. So that story would mean something to me. Seth.
What if he wore... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I guess I have one more little quick topic here. You know, with the No DQ Year-End Awards coming up, since we are discussing Seth Rollins, I mean, who would you guys pick for the Male Superstar of the Year? I mean, would it be Rollins? Would it be AJ? Would it be Kenny Omega? Anybody have an opinion on that if they had to pick somebody?
That's wrong.
I would say Jericho, but he doesn't have the volume. So, what does everybody else say?
Seth.
Seth, you're going with Seth?
Phenomenal one.
Oh, AJ Styles. All right.
It's the champ most of the year. The only other guy that you could give that kind of credit to is Brock Lesnar, but he never shows up. So
right, and people are not really nominating him anyway, so I don't even think he's going to make the call.
I'd probably go with Seth. Jericho just doesn't have the volume. But in my heart, I'd go with Roman because, dude, the guy was working with an illness. I don't know when it was diagnosed, but he had, you know what I mean? He was working big matches, main events, with something in his blood that could kill him. I mean, that's whatever. hate me, but that means something to me. You know, it's the real life aspect of it.
Has anybody nominated the best in the world?
What's that?
Has anybody nominated the best in the world, Shane McMahon?
No.
He already won. He already has the trophy.
So I go Seth.
So does he have a no DQ trophy?
We should make him one. He is the best in the world, after all.
I go Seth, but sentimentally Roman.
All right.
Did you watch the AJ Styles documentary, by the way?
Which one?
It's on the network, the new one.
I've seen parts of it, but not all of it.
So it turns out that he was working with a torn hamstring this year, and he didn't tell anyone. So it was very quiet, kept under the rug. So he was defending the title with a torn hamstring this
Oh, that would
time.
make sense why he wants to take some time off and have a lighter schedule.
Yeah, and about the Seth thing, I was going to say, what if he wore, like, Roman's vest to WrestleMania? I think that would be a cool touch to face Brock. Like, he wore it during his entrance and then took it off later.
Maybe that's a little overkill, but I wouldn't mind, like, afterwards, maybe doing some kind of salute to Roman or something like that.
He looks like a toddler wearing his dad's uniform.
Yeah, right?
He's jiggling around on his small shoulders.
Fair enough.
Well, that's all I got. So thanks, everyone. That was a great discussion, as always.
Absolutely.
Could have been more heated, but Jeff wasn't on.
I know,
we got to
right?
get him back. We got to get him back on. So let's go around and do the plugs. Stefan, since you haven't been on, this is your first time on the review or second time? I can't remember.
I believe this is my second go around.
Second time. Well, go ahead and do your plugs first then.
Okay, well, you can find me on nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. That'll take you straight to my Twitter page. Or you can just find me on Twitter, Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. I am one half of NoDQ's resident NXT reviewers, me and the General Jerry Slaughter. You can find him on Twitter at NoDQGeneral. And we do NXT. We do What's NXT usually goes up on Thursday. And we do the NXT party, which usually goes up on Fridays for NXT UK. And we do the NXT party with the hope that on this screen back here that you may or may not be able to see, we can have the No DQ fans on the show doing the review with us. If you'd like to do that, find me on Twitter, give me a DM, or leave a comment down below and let me know how I can get a hold of you, and we will try and get you on the show. Other than that, go to nodq.com/shirts. Sorry, TJS, I'm taking your gimmick. And right now, Pro Wrestling Tees has got a 20% off sale for Black Friday that goes on all weekend long. You can get $100 worth of products, and they will give you 5 free gifts. You get $150 worth, they will give you free shipping. So that's why I ordered, 7 No DQ shirts?
Thank you.
I ordered
all of them but mine. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I got yours for free. It's sentimental. I don't need a Virtue shirt, and I'm not going to buy a Fire Virtue shirt because I don't want anybody.
See, don't spread that stigma. I want people, whether they like me or hate me, to buy it. All right, go ahead. That's
Hashtag Fire Virtue.
It's all good. Continue, my man.
I wish I had waited until the TJS the toilet shirt was available.
I know.
It's like you got some more shirts to buy.
Well, I already had a TJS shirt. I'm trying to fill out everybody else. So, and I got one of the Galaxy shirts too. Those were cool.
Yeah, they're nice.
You have OCD, you're going to need them all. So you'll be back on there before the weekend's over.
Keeps adding too many shirts. There's never enough sales for me to buy all of the shirts all at once.
All right. TJS.
NoDQ.com/TJS takes you to my Facebook. Talk to me there. Twitter at NoDQ_TJS. Stefan plugged the shirts. The new Tyler the Toilet shirt is available, people, along with the classic TJS shirt. The art on the Tyler the Toilet shirt is courtesy of our good friend Kayfabe Candy Ass. Give him a follow at Planet Kayfabe on Twitter. He writes columns. Very, very good stuff. And that's it for me.
Yeah, so again, make sure you guys check out the t-shirt page, 20% off all the shirts. Fire Virtue or Higher Virtue. The choice is yours. But buy a shirt, show your love, show your support. We have the Ladies in No DQ shirt, which is up. We have the No DQ Galaxy shirt, which has everybody's name that is part of No DQ in some fashion or actually did a super chat donation during the month of November. So your name might be on that shirt. Pick one up while you can, 20% off. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding the upcoming TLC pay-per-view. And that's all I got. Virtue?
And I'm Virtue. You can follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue, where it can get very volatile. You can go to my Facebook, NoDQ.com/Virtue. And of course, you see the Virtue's Rage shirt up there. You see the Fire Virtue shirt, which I think Aaron Rift, that looks pretty cool. I don't know if you designed that.
Thank you, I did.
Thank you. So anyway, for Stefan, for TJS, for Aaron Rift, I am Virtue. This is a No DQ review, and we will be back again next time.